Alrighty, testing, testing, testing. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? Comment down below and let me know, ladies and gentle germs. Give people a couple minutes before we get this show on the road. Let's see. I'm seeing some of the homies. I act like I don't say the same shit every single stream. I say the same damn thing. But hey, it's good to have a routine. It keeps you in check, keeps you flowed, structured, all that jazz. All right. I'm seeing some of the homies in here, okay? We see you, King. Oh, I appreciate that, Snorlax. Thank you, brother. How's everything sounding? How's the audio, you guys? You guys can hear me well? You don't have to put everything at max? Let me know everything. Oh, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the homies here. Always good. Always a pleasure to be in y'all's company. Yeah, decided to start the stream a little earlier tonight because I got some evening shenanigans I'm going to be up to. But what's going on, people? What's up? What's happening? What's popping, y'all? Shout out to I can't even speak. Shout out to Snorlax, Lucky Diamond, Dark Walker, LTS, Chris, John Diaz, EQ, Daniel Lopez, Burnt Easy, aka Atlanta. We got Ladero McAlpin. What's going on? NKDN. How you doing? The Elitist Savage. Corey Gryffindor. Homie, what's going on, man? What's poppin'? Hentai Boy. Alpha King 2 Real. Mr. Shiny Arceus. Or, I still don't even know. I used to call it Arceus when I was a kid, but apparently it's Arceus. I don't fucking know at this point. Y'all know I've been out of the Pokemon loop for the longest time. D Money, Terrence JG, Fried Melon. What's up, people? What's up? Julian Harris, how you doing? How y'all doing? Y'all doing swell today. I'm happy to hear that. Well, I'm not doing so swell right now. I'm actually, while I'm doing this stream right now, I'm on customer support with Costco because apparently they said that an item I ordered was delivered and it wasn't. So now I'm just sitting here with my fingers up my ass like, yo, it's been 2 days, Costco. What's going on? And Costco is never really like that, so I'm a little confused. So while we're doing this stream, I'm waiting to chat with a representative. I'm apparently number 84 in the queue, which is actually pretty good because 2 minutes ago I was 108 in the queue. So either niggas is giving up or they making some progress. We'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. Alrighty. I'm doing swell, people. I'm doing swell, y'all. Thank you for asking. We got a pretty lit show happening tonight, man. So much to discuss, and it's only been a week since we did the last stream, and it's like every Friday there's something crazy happening. I can't believe it, man. But we going to dive into those topics once we get a few more people in here. Of course, we got to stay hydrated. Y'all know the fucking vibes. Y'all know this shit. Alrighty. Just watched Joker 2019 and oh my god, it's so good. I'm always late to everything except for Neo time. Oh, I appreciate that, Dark Walker. And yeah, Joker was a pretty dope movie, man. I mean, yeah, it is glorified taxi driver. We all understand that, but shit was still pretty good, bro. I got that bitch in 4K. I've yet to watch the 4K yet, but it's on my list. It is on my list. Yeah, so I'm not the only person, Zero. I've always called it Arceus this entire time. It's straight up been Arceus. And then when I heard it on the stream, they said Pokemon Arceus. I'm like, Arceus. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the best when it comes to pronunciation of things, which is why I always say during the streams, if I get y'all's names wrong, please correct me. Please sound it out because it's better for me to fuck up and then you guys correct me so I don't keep making the same mistake for years, Good night from Syria. Oh man, we got people tuning in from Syria. That's what's up. Location check. Where y'all tuning in from? Coming at y'all from the East Coast, New York State, not the city, because apparently those are two different things to people. Oh yeah, it's not that hard to be a better Joker than Jared Leto. I mean, that's just don't do Jared Leto Joker and you're fine. Hey Neo, just asking why you streaming so early. No complaints, just curious. Well, to answer your question, Alan, it's a combination of two things. So, number one, I actually do have plans going on later tonight at 9 o'clock. I'll be hanging out with my boys. So, I have to do the stream a little earlier if I wanted to keep it like consistently on Fridays. And number two, I've been experimenting with streaming at different times because, you know, we have a lot of people in different time zones outside of the US. So I want to try to make it so every now and then I do a stream that's a little bit earlier for us over here in the US. And at the same time, people over there overseas, you know, whether they have like an hour or two before they go to bed or before they go to school or work in the morning, they can at least catch the streams. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying my best to help all the homies out there because, you know, they support me. I try to give back by doing streams at better hours. Malaysia, Texas, Cali, Maryland, Vegas. Nice. Hey, and Neo, we horny guys did it. We're getting that Chun-Li cosplay. We are. Oh shit, let me go check out the Homemade Tortilla Senpai. Let's see what she got to say. Let's see. Where is this tweet from her? Oh God, I gotta post something. Oh, yep. We got it. We did it, boys. We did it. She going cosplay Chun-Li. Where's the image? Where is it? I need that image of Vegeta's face. It's just Vegeta's face. There we go. Oh, real horny hours. Oh man, but you know what? We might as well just dive into today's stream. We might as well just get this intro out of the way. This chick got it. You ever like, man? All right, I'll touch more on that later. But what's going on, people? What's up? What's happened? Welcome to another fabulous and exciting installment of Ask Neo. Ask Neo, if you're tuning in for the very first time, is the at this point, somewhat regular Q&A series where you guys ask me questions and I try to the very best of my ability to answer them within a timely fashion. Regulars of the stream will know that usually doesn't happen because you guys ask so many amazing questions and I am just only one person. So it's either I scroll and blast or I give time to each and every question. Now, before we dive into the stream, there are a couple of ground rules. And by ground rules, I mean, check the video description box and you'll catch a couple of links of interest. Those are all of my social media outlets from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you want to follow me outside of YouTube, feel free. That's where I congregate. Out of all of those, I am on Twitter the most. So if you want to get my spicy takes on the craziest shit happening in the industry, that's where you'll find me. In addition, we have links to the Patreon page, in addition to the Discord community, where you guys can just go hang out, comment on some things, maybe find some people to run some co-op games. And yeah, other than that, man, it's pretty much a free-flow, free-form Q&A. You guys can ask any questions you want. Spamming questions doesn't really mean that I am going to answer them faster than anybody else. But if some time has gone on, like let's just say 5 minutes or so, and I haven't really got to your question, feel free to answer it again, or feel free to ask it again. There are some questions that I am not going to answer either if I don't have any idea of what it is, like if I can't really comment on it, I'm probably not going to answer it. And if it's something that I've already addressed at great length on like recent videos, then I'll just say, hey, check out this video if you want to know my thoughts. But other than that, you guys, it's a pretty chill environment here. You know, nothing too crazy pops off. So yeah, feel free to, you know, leave this stream on while you play games, while you do your laundry, while you, I don't know, you're in the bathroom trying to squeeze out a turd. Who fucking knows? I don't know what y'all are using these streams for. But I would appreciate it if you guys like the stream because that's how we get this channel out into the ether and we bring more weirdos into this little family of ours. Accompanying me today on this live stream Q&A is my brand new Baby Yoda Grogu thermos that one of my homegirls got me for Christmas. And it's fucking dope, guys. Look at this. It's like a nice metal thermos. Oh, it's even got Mando on it. That's awesome. Look, there he is. There's Mando. But y'all came here for Grogu. Look at him. He's adorable. Alrighty, so okay. Let's get ahead into some of these questions. Alright, let's see. Just pop out this chat right quick. Okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna start from the top and work my way down, you guys. Alrighty. Let's see. DMX passed away. Yeah, for those who are unaware, man, it's so weird. It's so somber. I feel like on every one of these live streams I'm getting on here and I'm talking about somebody prolific who's passed away. But yeah, we lost DMX today, you guys. He'd been in the hospital for the past week or so, and you know, reports were all over the place considering when something like this happens, you don't really know who to believe, and sometimes the family just wants privacy during all this time. So, you know, when the news first broke, I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to stay off of this story as much as I can. I'll maybe do a tweet or two whenever we hear an update, but I just thinking about somebody like DMX, who, you know, somebody you've been enjoying their content, their entertainment for literally decades at this point, and then to see them in the state that they are, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird to just sit here and talk about this shit, because I feel like I've been talking about this shit like every other week, you know? Like, you know, Doom passed away a few months ago, and DMX, and shit is heavy, man. Shit is heavy. I mean, my prayers going up for him, his entire family, because this shit was, I don't know. You would think that it's getting easier to talk about this shit, but it's not, bro, because fuck, man, I was just listening to some DMX like literally a few days ago, and then all this, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to process. Alrighty, so let's see. You had appendix surgery yesterday. Oh man, holy shit, yeah, man. Whew. Well, lucky you caught that shit in time. Okay, what do you want to see in State of Decay 3? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of State of Decay. I mean, I've tried to get into it on a couple of occasions, but those kind of games really aren't my cup of tea. I mean, I understand why people like them, so I'm not knocking people who are liking those kind of games. The important thing I want to see in State of Decay 3 is I want to see less of a buggy launch, because every single time a State of Decay game came out, it was riddled with glitches and bugs and all types of craziness. You know, it was essentially a game that got better with time, which, as you guys know, I'm not a fan of these games as a service that come out and, you know, for the first like 6, 8, 12 months, we beta the shit out of it. Like that. I mean, if you got the free time to do that, but I don't know, man. With these games that are requiring so much investment from the community with so little content out the gate, I just think it sets a really dangerous precedent in the industry. And that's what really worries me going forward, because it's starting to infect and plague a lot of $60 releases, as we've seen. So I just want them to have a smooth, stable launch that has ample amount of content that you don't have to wait for. Like if I hear them say something about a roadmap when the game itself is hollow, like, okay. Let's see. Have you, wait, before we get into that, where's the new Naruto games at? Storm ended 5 years ago. Yeah, we haven't been getting too many Naruto games. I mean, what was the last new Naruto game we got on a console? I think it was Shinobi Strikers, and that was a few years ago now. I mean, that is kind of what happens when anime ends, you know what I'm saying? Like when an anime ends and it doesn't have a lot of new content, the amount of games that they release, it doesn't really increase, you know what I'm saying? In the case of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball was over for a long ass time. So it wasn't like, okay, Dragon Ball ended, how are we going to keep milking the shit out of this? No, a lot of time had passed and Dragon Ball had received numerous waves in popularity, because when it was over in Japan, that didn't mean it was over in other countries, you know, in other territories, especially in the US. It started to get really big in the early 2000s. So that's why they had a new influx of video games. So I think with time, Naruto will probably get some more games. Maybe it just comes down to there not being a lot of developers out there who want to work on Naruto like that. Which is so strange when you consider the fact that Naruto is still a popular series. I mean, you got Boruto out there, which I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you know, some people are. And let me just move this webcam over a little bit because my face is like out of frame. There we go. I'm not the biggest fan of Boruto, but I know there are a lot of fans. Maybe they view that the Boruto series so far doesn't have anything that's really game worthy. But yeah, it has been a while. Like we are due for a new Storm game. You know, maybe after CyberConnect 2 puts out the Demon Slayer game, they might do that. Who knows? But if I'm being honest, you guys, if they're gonna make a new Naruto game, I want them to do it like Dragon Ball FighterZ. You know, don't give us just another bullshit ass lame attempt at an open world game. Don't give us another arena brawler. Like, give us something fundamentally different. That's what the world needs. All right. Have you watched today's episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier? No, I have not watched the episode yet, you guys. Normally, I do catch them like first thing in the morning, because I've been off on most Fridays for the past couple of weeks, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it. Probably I'm not gonna get down to watching it until like late tonight. So, yeah, no, not yet. I haven't seen it. Have you heard about the PlayStation 4 having a time bomb in it where the battery dies at a certain playing time? You can't play digital games or physical games. I was shocked. Yeah, I did hear about that. Because it first started when it came to the whole PlayStation 3, Vita, and PSP stores being closed down. People noticed that about the PlayStation 3 console. You know, it has a finite amount of time that you can use it. And apparently the same thing is built into the PlayStation 4. I'm not sure about the PS5, but that is kind of scary. The fact that, you know, you can't just buy this console, leave it alone, turn it on, and play it. The fact that it has this weird time bomb. I mean, I'm not too well versed in it. I don't know if Sony can really go in and maybe patch that stuff out. I highly doubt it, because the way people are talking about it seems like it's a legit issue. So, God. Let's see. Is the Demon Souls movie out? Demon Souls movie? I think you mean the Demon Slayer movie? Demon Slayer movie comes out at the end of the month. Can you discuss why your beard seems uneven? My beard seems uneven because I'm still growing my beard. The thing about beard growth is that it's never going to grow equally on both sides. There's always going to be one side that is fuller than the other, and the other side is just patchier. So it's just a part of the process. You know, I've been growing it for a while. It's taken its time, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was a few months ago. So it is what it is. You know, you got to embrace the process. Trust the process, as people say. Oh, and then the homie Gustavo Bravo came in with a $5 super chat. Want to know your thoughts on Destiny 2. How is it? I'm planning on buying it soon. Saw it for half off on the PlayStation Store, and click the like button, my people. So I appreciate that, Gustavo Bravo. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, hit that like button. So as far as my thoughts on Destiny 2 are concerned, now, anybody who knows me, if you couldn't tell by my little rant on games as a service titles before, I'm not the biggest fan of Destiny, at least the precedent that it's set in the industry on how, hey, we're just going to release this game with amazing gunplay mechanics and, yeah, just wait for all the new content. I was not a big fan of that. I did buy into the hype of the first Destiny. I bought it on release because I loved playing the alpha. And like many of y'all, I was just so burnt out because there really wasn't that much content unless you wanted to just grind and do the most repetitive missions out there to get better gear. I wasn't a fan of that, so I bought Destiny, took the L on that, went to go play other stuff. A few years passed by. Destiny 2 comes out, and I tried renting it thinking it'd be a little different. And of course, y'all know the situation that happened with Destiny 2 when it came out. So I never really put that much time into Destiny outside of finishing the first game, playing a little bit of the second game on a rental. And honestly, I was going to be okay with that. It was just going to be one of those games that wasn't for me. However, a few months ago, I did dive back into Destiny 2, considering they put all the expansions on Game Pass. And I got to say, Destiny 2, it's in a much better place now in terms of content, in terms of fun, in terms of all the stuff that makes Destiny such an appealing game. Like, I'm enjoying my time playing, albeit I don't play it as much as everybody else. I only play Destiny really, if I'm lucky, like once a week or so, because I've been running The Division more consistently. The Division 2, mind you, and I'm having a lot more fun with that one as opposed to Destiny 2. I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's the fact that The Division is a third-person shooter, and I prefer third-person shooters over first-person shooters. And when you talk about the concept of loot, I mean, I'm just going to be honest, I like seeing it on my character. And Division 2, you can do that. Destiny 1, you only really see that when you're, you know, going around the, like I said, Destiny 1 terminology, the tower and everything. But yeah, I totally get why people like Destiny 2. I understand it. I get it. You know, Bungie, now that they're freed from Activision, they can do things on their own terms, which is always a plus. But I don't think I'll ever really be too invested in it as much as everybody else in the community. Just because it's like, I don't know, like certain games that are like that, you just have to hook me in one way. And The Division 2 hooked me more than Destiny 2 did. So I guess, I don't know. It's just wasn't the right place at the right time or what have you. But it is fun. I mean, I always recommend people trying it out. Like, it's a free-to-play title. Crossplay is coming at the end of the year. They're still working on expansions. So there is going to be a lot of new content. But me, myself, and I'm not really excited for because it's just not my cup of tea. But hey, it's always worth trying out, especially if you have Game Pass. All right. Will you make a Switch homebrew video like your Wii homebrew videos from 11 years ago? Oh man, you taking it way back. To be honest, no, I'm not really involved in the homebrew community anymore. I mean, I never really was in the first place. I just downloaded it for the Wii and I showed people how to do it because no one else had any videos about it at the time. But I'm not really into hacking consoles like that no more. I mean, I jailbroke my PSP. That was a lot of fun. But after that, I just never really had a need to do that. I know people love doing it. I totally get the appeal. You can turn machines into these devices that are playing games that they never originally were supposed to, like what people did with the Xbox Series consoles, how you can emulate all these classic games. That's amazing. But if I'm being real, you guys, I have so many games in my collection right now that I have to play, and I don't really have a desire to play games from older systems just because I can emulate them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I have a lot of stuff I'm playing right now, and then that's okay, you know? And if I really wanted to play a lot of older games, I would just download them on my PC. You know, I don't really need to hack my Switch in order to do that. So Neo, since we're on the topic of Switch games, have you tried or are you interested in Monster Hunter Rise? So I have not picked up Monster Hunter Rise yet. I mean, I'm a Monster Hunter fan, you guys know. But right now I just have too many games on the docket to play, and knowing me, buying a game like Monster Hunter would put all of my other games that I have now just to the wayside, especially with how good Monster Hunter Rise is. That game looks incredible, you guys. So it is something I'll get to eventually, but by that point, I'll just wait for the PC version because I love the Switch and everything, and it's a technical marvel what they were able to pull off. But I need that Monster Hunter in 60 frames, man. I've been spoiled. I need it. Let's see. Benji Sales said Compulsion Games' new IP will be at E3. Do you think the game will blow us away? So we are getting into the rumor mill territory again, especially as we're amping up towards E3. What developer will show off a game here and there? And if there's anything I've learned about being in the video game industry, you guys, for the past decade, don't believe rumors. Don't put stock in rumors. If anything, take them with a grain of salt, because how many times have people been saying, hey, the Initiatives game is going to be shown off at EXO 2018, at E3 2019, at this event here, at this event there. You know what I'm saying? It's just, don't believe it. Just go into these events with little to no expectations, and then what you see is what you get. I don't even know what type of game they would work on. I mean, yeah, I would want it to be a great game, something different, something exciting, something that is playable at launch, and we don't have to wait 6 years for them to finish. But I don't know, man. I've just been burned too many times by a lot of these, like, get yourself hyped up for something, and then when it comes out, it's just not that great. So for me, if they show it off, cool, we'll see what it's hitting for, and if it comes out and it's awesome, I'll play it. Is the Doom Eternal DLC worth it? I have not touched it yet. That's on my list after I finish up Yakuza Like a Dragon, but from what I've been hearing, it's actually pretty solid. Oh, we got 2 super chats coming in. First super chat is from Gustavo Bravo again. Thank you, brother. Coming from a former Android user, how is Apple treating you? I want to switch for my next phone contract since I've been Samsung user for 11 years. If I do, I'll probably get the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Well, to be honest, Gustavo, I'm having no issues whatsoever with the iPhone. I got the 12 Pro Max back in December, for those who are wondering. And it's been a pretty solid phone. I mean, I guess you could say, very basic when it comes to what I want my phone to do for me. Like, I used to be a person who was like, okay, I want to have a phone that has all these amazing features, and, you know, the typical spiel, like the whole typical spiel you hear from Android users, like, oh, this is why Android is better than iPhone. I was that person for so many years, you know. But now, as I've gotten older, my priorities have changed. So these days, I want a phone that's got a great battery, that's got a great camera, and just works. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to troubleshoot anything. I don't have to worry about if my phone will get this update now. And after being on Android consistently for 6 years, I've had everything. You know, I've had the top of the line Samsung phones. I've had the newest flagships they've put out. I switched over to OnePlus, and I've really enjoyed that experience. And I was like, you know what? I want to switch over to iPhone, see what I've been missing for the past couple of years. And yeah, the 12 Pro Max has been serving me well, you guys. You know, it just does everything that I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it a little limiting? Yeah, that's the Apple ecosystem. But what you trade off in terms of freedom, if you will, you gain instability. And with a lot of things that Android is just not doing right now, you know? I mean, I'll just be honest. iMessage and FaceTime, things like that are extremely clutch. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the fact that I can have a conversation on my phone, right? Texting or whatever. And then if I'm working on my computer and I have my Mac over here, I can just quickly reply to that without having my phone. You know, like I have an iWatch, exact same thing. It's an extension of that ecosystem. And for me right now, that's all I really care about. You know, I don't really care about the crazy bells and whistles that they'll put into like the next Samsung phone or the next phone coming out of China or whatever. I just want a phone that works, and literally I just go everywhere and people know what the phone is. They know how to diagnose it if I have a problem. And yeah, that's just how it's been. So I'm enjoying my 12 Pro Max. Do I miss features about Android? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, the phone's doing things that my old Android phones haven't done, and they still don't do. So I'm cool with that. I would say go into the stores and try it out, Gustavo Bravo, and see if you really like the interface and the user experience, because it is very different by comparison to Android. Okay, now moving into, we actually got another super chat. Where did it go? Here it is. Ooh, this one's coming from Levin Loriano. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Question: are you planning to play the new Mass Effect HD remaster? So here's the thing. For those who are unaware, they finally, after so many years of rumors and speculations, they're working on a Mass Effect HD trilogy. So they're going back and they're remastering all 3 games in the series, with a lot of attention being targeted towards the first Mass Effect game, because it is the oldest and it is the roughest out of the bunch. And as y'all know, I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. I love it. I've played through the trilogy multiple times. And I'm one of the people that actually liked Mass Effect 3. The ending I was kind of iffy on, but the overall experience, the journey from 1 to 3, I really enjoyed it. And I've been wanting them to go back and do an HD remaster for the longest time. And they're finally doing it, you know, giving credit where credit's due. But I'm looking at this remaster, and honestly, while it looks like a big improvement by comparison, I feel like they could have done so much more. It doesn't really feel like, yeah, this is what y'all have been waiting for. It looks prettier, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where I have to get it in my hands to truly see the difference, you know, the night and day difference with the gameplay. Because yeah, visually you can tell the difference, but it's a different thing entirely when you're actually playing the game. So I'll probably end up picking it up, because this gaming season is looking pretty sparse, to say the least, you know, with COVID and all the delays. So the only games I'm really going to be playing over the next couple months, let's see. So we have Returnal coming out. We have Nier Replicant, Mass Effect, Ratchet and Clank. So those are like the 4 games that are on my radar right now. And I'm going to be honest, outside of Nier, which is a remake of an older game, the only one here that's really new is Ratchet and Clank and Returnal. So, I don't know. It's like, I'm not saying my expectations are lowered when it comes to me buying these games day one, because there's nothing to play. But yeah, I guess it is kind of lowered, because normally I would be like, okay, this Mass Effect remaster, I'll wait. But since there's not really anything to play, fuck it, I'll buy it. But we'll see. We'll see, man, because with the way games these days have been dropping down in price, you know, it might be $20 cheaper in a week or two. All right. Let's see. How's Yakuza Like a Dragon treating you so far? Amazing. That game is so fucking dope. I love it. Let's see. Also, Neo, it's my birthday week. Well, it was Tuesday, but we're celebrating this weekend because Tuesday was too crazy for me. Well, happy belated birthday, Sterling. Happy belated birthday, bro. Everybody in the chat, wish Sterling a happy birthday. And if anybody is having a birthday within this week up until next Friday, happy birthday to you guys as well. How do you feel about The Last of Us remake leaks and Days Gone 2's cancellation? Oh, we'll touch on that. We'll touch on that in a little bit. Let's see. Do you hate the person who has a different opinion than you, or do you think there are bad people for not agreeing with you in terms of cartoons and anime? No, I don't hate anybody because they have a different opinion than me or they think differently. I think that's asinine. the world would be such a boring place if every single person thought the exact same way. That's not fun. How we get interesting and exciting things is people thinking differently, you know, especially when it comes to gaming, when it comes to anime, when it comes to manga, things like that. It's nice to have discourse. It's great. I think when you're talking about in terms of cartoons and anime, there is a discussion to be had on people who are ignorant, saying how, oh, anime is so much better than cartoons, when at the end of the day, they're the exact same thing. One is just more of a narrative storytelling, and the other, they both accomplish different things, and both of them have amazing series in their own regard. So I don't know. I feel like that whole discussion on anime versus cartoons, it's something that we all had this discussion like 10 plus years ago, and people are trying to bring that up again, which is very strange, because at the end of the day, just enjoy what you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That's what it comes down to. Let's see. Petition for a Dark Souls movie starring Kevin Hart. Oh, God. You know, fuck it. At this point, fuck it. Do it. Yeah, everyone's talking about that whole Last of Us remake thing. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it, you guys. We'll get to it. Let's see. What's going on, video game lover? How you doing? How you doing? All right. Daniel Pack, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. MLB The Show 21 on Game Pass, thoughts? I think that's actually a really smart and strategic move on the part of MLB and Xbox, because MLB is a new franchise to Xbox gamers. And what better way to get people invested in a new franchise than by kind of offering it up for free? You get what I'm saying? Or a low barrier of entry. So I think that's a really good idea for them to get people invested in the game. Going forward, it's going to be interesting if, like, let's say next year's MLB is not on Game Pass. But who knows? Maybe this will be such a big success. They get like an uptick in subscribers. And going forward, it launches day and date on Game Pass. I'm not so sure. I think it'll all depend on the sales and engagement. That's what really matters. But I think that's a good move on Xbox's account. They're making very good pro-consumer moves, which is kind of sad because, you know, being a PlayStation fan and having this series start on PlayStation, I'm going to be honest, I don't give a fuck about MLB. I don't play sports games. You guys know that. But it is kind of sad that your competition is not only getting your series, but they're getting that game for peanuts, you know? Like, whereas PlayStation, they're not making those moves because they don't have to. Which in their defense, yeah, it's still going to make money on their service, which is cool. But come on, like, Xbox gamers didn't have to do nothing, and they're getting this, whereas PlayStation gamers got to pay $70 for an annual sports game. Ugh, kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. Which company did better on the next-gen consoles in terms of performance, games, exclusives, controller, Neo? Well, most of these are going to be very subjective based on you and your taste and what you get out of these game consoles. So right now, when it comes to performance, it's kind of a toss-up. There are some games that perform better on Series X, a lot of them that perform better on PS5, and that has to do with a whole bunch of developer mumbo-jumbo that, I'm going to be honest, I don't really care about, because the difference is not that big where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get this game on PlayStation because it runs 2% better. You know what I mean? Like, some people will just like pixel count and analyze certain things. Like, provided it's not like a big difference where the PlayStation version runs at 30 frames, 1080p, and the Series X version runs at like 4K, 60 frames, I'm okay. But if it's something that's so minuscule as 100p, or this game on the Series X drops to 59 frames per second, whereas it's stable 60 on the PlayStation 5, I'm not really gonna care about that, because at the end of the day, I just want to know if the game is fucking good. You know what I'm saying? In terms of game library, well, when it comes to exclusives, PlayStation is doing a much better job. I mean, they launched with more quality exclusives than Xbox did. Xbox didn't launch with any exclusives. So game-wise right now, at least for the foreseeable future, like the next year, PlayStation has that on deck, because we know more exclusive games that are coming out on PlayStation versus Xbox. I mean, they had Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yes, it's a cross-gen game, but that game is charting. That game is doing numbers, and it was a great fucking game. The Demon's Souls remake, great fucking game. We have Ratchet and Clank, we have Returnal, we have Deathloop coming out. There's a lot more games that are exclusive to PlayStation in year one that would have a lot of people excited if they had to choose between the consoles. Controller-wise, again, it's up to personal preference. A lot of people do love the DualSense. I love the DualSense. I think it's a great controller. It's one of the best Sony controllers. But I'm a creature of habit, you guys. I love the Xbox design layout. I love the placement of the sticks. I love how it feels. The Xbox controllers, they just work for me. And that's why I really love the Series X controller. And it's why I still use the Elite V2. The Elite V2 is still my go-to controller for everything. So, yeah, in my personal opinion, which console do I prefer? I prefer my Xbox Series X because right now, if we're just talking about playing multi-platform games and we're talking about a system that's very functional, usable, and it doesn't have, you don't have to like train your brain to do other things, the Xbox Series X works well for me because it's the Xbox One operating system, and I've already gotten accustomed to the Xbox One operating system and how everything works. Now, is there room for improvement? Absolutely. They do need to work on a lot of things. They got to work on the DVR, like that's their next approach. But in terms of like quick resume, in terms of everything being so seamless, like syncing everything to the cloud without me having to worry, all that stuff Xbox is just doing much better. And right now during this dry spell, I like that everything is just working just fine, you know, whereas on PlayStation, it's always something I have to diagnose. Like, why is this happening? Why is that version? Why do I have to do 40 backflips to get this saved data uploaded? Whereas on Xbox, it's just like that. So yeah, they're both amazing machines, but right now I think Xbox was the more prepared company when it came down to a console that just works. Let's see. When will I be able to play Game Pass on my iPhone? Well, Phil Spencer said it'll be coming soon. It's not going to be a native app. It's probably going to be done through a browser, but they're still working on that. So probably, if we're talking full-on support, probably in the next year. Android and iOS both definitely have their strengths and weaknesses. Absolutely, Mexican Zoidberg. It's good to see you, by the way, bro. Let's see. Yeah, that 4K Switch is it's coming. It's all but confirmed, man. It is all but confirmed. Baja Blast Freeze from Taco Bell comes in clutch. Absolutely, absolutely. Baja Blast. If y'all ain't on that Baja Blast Freeze train, well, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry, Devo. I can't. I canceled Taco Bell because they got rid of the fucking quesarito. Why am I even talking about them in a positive light? Let's see. Hey, what's going on, Alan? Good to see you. I don't know anything about this, but how many more studios will Microsoft and Xbox have to buy before it's considered a monopoly? Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people assume that with the purchase of Bethesda, because they bought a whole publisher, not a developer, that Microsoft is veering towards a monopoly. I don't think we really have to worry about that until they start buying multiple publishers. I'm talking like publishers that have multiple teams under them. So if they come out there and they buy all of Japan, like if they buy Square Enix, if they buy Capcom, if they buy Sega and all that stuff, that's when we're going to start having to worry. But right now, as it stands, everything is okay. Because look at it. They only have 23 studios out of hundreds of teams out there. Let's see. The road to Yakuza Like a Dragon Platinum is rough. Oh, you see, that's why I gave up on doing Platinum trophies. I know people love it and I respect it, but I'm not really... For me, I just play the game, I play the story, and that's basically it. I'm not gonna lie, my heart is broken after playing Yakuza 6. No more Kiryu as a playable character. It does hurt, but I can't wait for Yakuza Like a Dragon. I'm gonna be getting that in May. Can't wait. Oh, man, yeah. So... You know, it's really funny with the whole talk of Yakuza recently because everyone's getting into the series now because of, you know, Game Pass, PC, and all that stuff. And I love it, but it's also sad because everyone is, oh, snap, the homie Hustlin' Motive just became a member. Shout out to you, homie. Thank you so much. So, yeah, it does kind of suck because for a lot of people who played Yakuza, we went through these feelings, these emotions years ago, and now everyone's feeling it now, and now I'm just reminded of that stuff, and I'm like, damn, that hurts, bro. That really hurts. But yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, it's never good to overstay your welcome, and Kiryu just because he's not like the main character in a Yakuza game, that doesn't mean that he won't be involved in the series. And I'm not going to get into spoilers, but if you play Yakuza Like a Dragon, so yeah, it kind of sucks. But he had his story. He had like almost 10 games to himself. It's pretty damn good. He had a good run. Hey, Neo, how are you this weekend? Any plans? Oh, I'm doing good, Flame. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing swell, brother. So this weekend is actually going to be, well, it's going to be a pretty busy one for me. Like, not counting work outside, but just a bunch of videos that I have to get done, and I had to re-record because the thing about being a content creator, guys, is sometimes you just get into your head when it comes to making videos, and you think that, oh, this is a great take, and then you watch it back, and you're like, I could have structured that better. Maybe I really wasn't feeling up to it at the time. So there's a couple of videos that I recorded this week, and now it's just editing them. So my Series X impressions after 6 months, my review on the Xbox headset, 2 videos talking about the Sony stuff, and now I have to do a 3rd one because of what happened recently. So it's a lot of stuff. So it's going to be a very busy week, and I don't know if I'm really going to get a lot of gaming in outside of this night, but it's good. It's a good kind of busy, What if Resident Evil Village comes to Game Pass day 1? Ooh. So I actually talked about that on my last stream, last week's Ask Neo, where it's going to be really crazy when Xbox starts getting major single-player games day and date to Game Pass. Because it's one thing if it's like a multiplayer game, obviously, but when you start seeing big single-player entries, like if Game Pass were to get something like a Resident Evil Village, which I don't think they would, because if they did, they would have announced it by now. That would really have a lot of people go, whoa, what the hell? Because some people out there, they still have this stigma of paying full price for single player games that you can beat in like 8 to 10 hours. So imagine if a game like Resident Evil Village launched day and date on Game Pass, $15 a month, $1 to try it, or $70 on the other platforms. That could be a really compelling reason for people to get an Xbox, or at the very least subscribe to a platform where Game Pass is available. But I don't think that will be happening anytime soon. I think Xbox is really focusing on getting as many games as they can in terms of like older titles onto Game Pass, and then what's going to be like the new hotness and what could benefit them for longevity's sake. So that would be something like an Outriders in terms of multiplayer outreach and all that stuff. But you never know, man. Xbox has been making moves, man. Who knows? It might not be Resident Evil Village, but they could get something else. That would be crazy. Like if they bring Final Fantasy VII Remake and they release that day and date on Game Pass, like that's going to cause a lot of people to be like, holy shit. Because the game is going to be $70 on PlayStation 5 with the remastered content and the DLC. But if they bring that to Game Pass, wow. Regular iPhone 12 Pro or the Pro Max? Well, at that point, honestly, there's not major differences between the two. I thought there would be, because when you have older phones, you always want like the one that's the biggest in terms of like screen size, usually has the better battery and better performance and yada yada yada. But the differences between the Pro and the Pro Max are so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. They're minuscule. So honestly, it just comes down to screen size and what you want. So honestly, if I'm being real, I should have just stuck with the 12 Pro, because the 12 Pro Max, like, yeah, I like the fact that it's a big ass screen, but I don't really need a phone this big. I mean, I've had phones this big for the longest time, but at some point you realize, all right, maybe that's just a little too big for what I need. Let's see. I haven't played Last of Us 1 or 2. Like I said, I'm late to everything, but do you recommend them, and which is better? Okay, so this is going to be very controversial, but I actually prefer Last of Us Part 2 over Last of Us Part 1. And I know everyone's going to say that's sacrilegious because the story and blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, gameplay-wise, Last of Us Part 2 is a fucking 10 out of 10. That game is fucking incredible, what you're able to pull off in it. The attention to detail, all that stuff is amazing. The first Last of Us, I'm not saying it's bad. It's great. Like, in terms of flow, it's cool. But it's so damn repetitive, bro. That's not even fun. It's literally just go into this room. It's like old school Gears and Uncharted. Go into this room, shoot it out until you hear something, and you move on. In Last of Us' case, it's literally just like duck, raft, ladder for Ellie, listen for a clicker. You do that so many fucking times in the first Last of Us, which just goes to show that I don't think people really have played the first Last of Us recently. Because going back and trying to play that shit is, I'm not saying it's bad, but I got spoiled by Part 2. Part 2's gameplay is so fucking fun, and the AI is incredible, especially on the harder difficulties, that, yeah, I would say the second game is leagues better than that. Now, can you have a conversation about the story and the differences? Yes, but if you said you only had to play one of these games and you had to play them for the rest of your life, you can only pick one. I'm going to pick the second one. Just give me that 60 frames patch, because the second they do a 60 frame patch for Last of Us Part 2, I am diving back in. Oh, and then the Toma came through with a $5 super chat. What's up, my brother? Hey, what's up, fam? How you doing? Hope all is well with you. We're actually going to get the boys together for some Uno tonight, man. If you want to pull up, we're going to be doing that. Hit up the group chat, bro. All right. Unpopular opinion. Game Pass is... What? Unpopular opinion, Game Pass is better than PS Plus, and I'm a big PlayStation guy. Well, obviously Game Pass is better than PS Plus. PS Plus is... The games that they give away are just like freebies for subscribing to the online service, which is giving you the privilege of playing online. Game Pass is something different. Game Pass is a curated list of games. So, of course, it is going to be better. I mean, they have so many games on that service, and they have so many games coming. So, that's not really an unpopular opinion, you know? Let's see. Can you give more pros to having Game Pass? I own a lot of my Xbox One games physical, so looking at Game Pass, it feels like you just get full game demos, which is nice, but is it worth the subscription? Well, here's the thing about Game Pass, Woods. Game Pass, the games on the service, and is it worth it or not, is completely up to you. You buy most of your games physical, right? So I assume you have a large Xbox One library. If you have most of the Xbox One games that are available, you don't really need to subscribe to Game Pass unless you want to play those games digitally, or you just like the idea of all these other games that you wanted to try out, but you didn't want to invest the money on. That's where Game Pass comes in handy, in my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, if you don't really care, like, and here's the thing I think a lot of Xbox gamers got to understand. There's a good amount of Xbox gamers now who don't subscribe to Game Pass, and that's fine. You know, you have... like, what, 20 million people subscribe to Game Pass? That's not the entirety of the Xbox nation. Now, obviously, I think that if you are on Xbox, you should subscribe to Game Pass because you're getting all the upcoming exclusives day and date. That's a great incentive. But if you don't care about Bethesda games and you're maybe not the biggest fan of Forza, you know, or if you're skeptical on Halo Infinite, I can see why you wouldn't subscribe to the service and you just buy the games when you want. So, yeah, I'm not going to try to sell you on something, Woods, when... at the end of the day, this is your money, so you're going to be the one who's footing the bill, not me. I can sit here and say, well, Game Pass is amazing, blah, blah, because to me, it is amazing. But that's not the same situation for everybody else. Let's see. Have you watched this week's episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier? No, I haven't seen it yet, you guys. What are your thoughts on folks switching from PlayStation 5 to Xbox Series X? This happens a lot in the start of the generation. People want to switch around, just like I switched from my Android phones to iPhone. People do the same thing with consoles. Like, people think that there's this crazy brand loyalty that exists, and I guarantee you that's just a very small percentage of people. 9 times out of 10, when you look at the people who switch, like, look at PlayStation 4 for a perfect example. There was a good amount of people who bought a PlayStation 4 who didn't own a PlayStation 3, which means they either owned a PlayStation 2 and they got themselves a PlayStation 4, like they skipped a generation, or what happened for a lot of people, they owned an Xbox 360 and then they upgraded to PlayStation 4 because they were not fucking with what Xbox was doing at the beginning of the generation, which makes sense. So looking at it now, there might be some people who had a PlayStation 4, they really loved it, but then they see what's happening on Xbox's side of things with Game Pass and all the games being on the service, and they might be like, oh, okay, that's interesting, I might try this out. So, yeah, it's not too surprising, but I'm not going to spin this as, oh, you see, this is a sign that PlayStation is doom and gloom, because... no, it's not. Like, my boy switched from 360 to PS4 last generation, but you want to know what happened? He bought an Xbox Series X this generation. So people don't have as much loyalty as folks think. Do you think we're going to see the Switch Pro or next gen upgrade at E3 in June? I think there's a high possibility we do, but knowing Nintendo, they could literally reveal the Switch Pro and then drop it a week later in stores, knowing Nintendo. Either way, I do want to get a 4K Switch. I need it. I don't care if it's upscaled or what have you. It's time for the Switch to get an update to the hardware, because, I mean, it was cool 4 years ago, you guys, playing some of these games portably, but now some of these games are running at like 540p, 28 frames per second is not the move. It is not the move. We need stable frames and a stable resolution. Can you lose weight and gain muscle at the same time? If so, what should my diet look like? Well, that's a really loaded question, D-Money, and I'm just gonna be honest, I can't get into everything right now about that. But it is possible in the very beginning, if you are a beginner, you can do something called recomping, which is where you lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. You can also chalk that up to newbie gains as well, where you just gain a lot of strength because you haven't done something before. But when you start getting really into this shit, like your first year is done, we start getting to years 2, 3, and onwards, you can't really do that. And anybody who really tells you that, they're probably on heavy amounts of steroids. But yeah, honestly, what I would say you should focus on is just focus on being active and living a healthier lifestyle. So making better choices when it comes to eating, making sure you're active, even if it's something so simple as walking throughout the day, things like that. That's what you should do. That's what you should be focusing on rather than figuring out whether you can lose weight and gain muscle at the same time. Because if you're trying to look for the most ideal thing out there and you're spending so much time focusing on what's perfect, what's this, and what's going to get me the results fastest, how do you even know if you're actually going to be into the shit you're doing? You get what I'm saying? So I would just say focus on, first off, getting yourself into the gym and eating better and worry about all that stuff later, because that stuff will come in time as you learn. I'm a girl and I have boy short hair. I'm such a tomboy. I get mistaken for a boy. Do you think that's okay? Well, Heidi, it's your life. If you think that's a problem for you personally, then do something to address it. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh no, you're perfect as is, because I don't know your life. I don't know what you go through. And far be it for me to give people terrible advice and it comes back to bite me in the face. But speaking personally on all of the tomboys who I've known in life, most of them, they're pretty fucking cool. They're pretty dope. I mean, have I mistaken them for boys? No, because they're still feminine in a lot of ways. Yeah, so I don't necessarily mind it if a girl acts like a tomboy or what have you. You know, just like there's a lot of dudes I know out there who are mad feminine. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's not a problem either. They just do what they do. Like for me, it's like just live your life and don't be a dick. So I don't care what somebody looks like, provided they're a great person. I'm cool with them. Let's see. I would like to point out, you guys, that on the Xbox store, 3 of the Batman games are on sale for 60% off with all the DLC, and it's only £19. You see, I've been itching an Arkham City replay for whatever reason, but honestly, I don't want to go back to them unless they get like an FPS boost. And yeah, I have them on PC. I know. But there's just something so simple of just like, I'm on Xbox and I want to play it, and then hey, look, achievements are there. Yeah, I'm that basic when it comes to rebuying games. Like I'm about to rebuy BioShock on Xbox. Why? Because I want to replay the trilogy, and hey, I can get new achievements. And I don't even care about achievements like that, but it's the fact that it's there and it's 60 frames. Yeah. If you would get a choice to only use PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, or PC for your entire life, what would you choose? If I could only pick one, are you talking about just like one platform, not just one box? So not going to be Nintendo. Obviously not Nintendo, because while they make great exclusives, they miss out on 90% of the stuff that comes out in the industry. And that's a lot of games. So obviously not just Nintendo. I don't care how much I love Zelda. I can't. I cannot do that. Like if you told me you could have Zelda for the rest of your life or every other game in the industry, who the fuck is going to pick Zelda? I'm just being real about life for a second. So when it comes down to PlayStation or Xbox, now they get the majority of the same games. But if I had to pick between two consoles right now and based off of history, I would say PlayStation, because PlayStation gets a shit ton more Japanese support than Xbox does, and that's just the reality that exists. So console-wise, I would roll with PlayStation just because of their history. But if I had to pick a platform that's just, I can find a way to do any and everything, it would be PC. So it's a tie between PC and PlayStation. And if you're on PC, you're gonna get all the Xbox games anyway. So it's PC or PlayStation. Fuck. Ugh, man. If PC starts getting a lot more Japanese games, it might just have to be PC. All right. Oh, Jet Life just sent in a super chat of $1.99. You playing Xbox in 2021? Yeah, I'm playing Xbox in 2021. What's up? All right. I only platinum games that earn it with amazing gameplay. With that said, God of War and Ghost of Tsushima are the only 2 platinums I have. I'm mostly an Xbox gamer. Yeah, you know what the thing is? I made an attempt at getting platinum trophies years ago, you guys. I remember I got like, I think 5 platinum trophies one time. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to get more. And then, oh, God, I am beat, man. Because then, like, with some of them games, it takes a commitment, you know? And I can understand it for games that you love. But, man, for me, it's like there's too many other games to play right now that I was like, okay, I could dedicate 60 hours of my life to getting this platinum trophy. Or I could play, like, 6 other games in this time and go through those stories and talk about it with people. So I just make the decision to go ahead and not platinum them, you know? Yeah, everyone here is like, yeah, completionist. Yeah, I understand. Listen, I get it from a completionist point of view. You guys, hey, no harm, no foul. Yeah, Snorlax, I saw your message on Twitter how you just beat Persona. Fantastic game, bro. Neo, do you think Final Fantasy VII Remake will come to Game Pass? And do you think Xbox will cough up the extra dough for the next gen version with DLC? So here's the thing. Xbox, or at least Square Enix, is able to talk about what they're going to do with Final Fantasy VII Remake outside of PlayStation in the next couple days, because it's been a year since it's been exclusive to PlayStation, and that was how long they had. So if we do hear anything about where it's going, whether it's PC or Xbox, we will hear it within the next couple of months. I'm not saying we are going to hear something, but now the possibility exists. And if I have to be honest, I think Xbox, they would go the extra mile to secure it for Game Pass. Because not only would that be a major win for the service in terms of, hey, here's this game that everybody wanted to play last year, but here's this $70 game that you had on PlayStation, you have on PlayStation right now, and we're giving it to you for free in our service, and you get the DLC too. That would be a baller fucking move. That really would. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. They've been very buddy-buddy. I mean, they put out Octopath Traveler on Xbox first before they put it out on PlayStation, which is very, very strange. After Yakuza 6, I feel like there's more that could be done with the character and characters around him, even if it's only a 10-hour game. I feel like it'll do really well. Thoughts? I mean, I think there is more. There is always room when it comes to certain characters, but you have to play it very strategically, because when you end a character's arc like they did with 6, anytime you bring them back, it's got to be with a purpose. It can't really be for like a short little side story, unless it's billed as that, you know, like he's just this 2-hour epilogue or something. I think they could do that, but I just think that there needs to be a little more time in between, you know what I'm saying? Because if you put a cap on his story then, and then you just go and do another game with him, like let's just say in 2022 or something, it's like he really wasn't gone for that long. I wish Xbox had trophies. These achievements and diamonds don't motivate me to 100% a game. Yeah, that's something that I actually saw on Twitter. Somebody put together a what they want out of Xbox achievements. And it was a whole like revamp of the system where, you know, you get like completes for every single game when you 100% it. I think that's actually a really good idea. And my freaking mustache is tickling my nose. Oh my God. Let's see. Did you get your tickets for the Demon Slayer movie? They released them out of nowhere. Well, they didn't release them out of nowhere. They actually told everybody weeks ago that it would be out on April 9th, which is today. And yes, I did secure my tickets. I'm going to be seeing it Thursday the 22nd in IMAX. I cannot freaking wait, because at least in my area, that's like the only day you can see it in IMAX, because Mortal Kombat comes out tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, today, but the 23rd, and that's taking up all the IMAX and the 4DX and all that stuff. So I'm very lucky I was able to get that ticket. Let's see. I know, I really want some Baja Blast too. Holy shit. Do you think it's smart for Microsoft to buy WB's gaming division, assuming their IPs as well, just so Xbox can have Batman to compete against PlayStation and Spider-Man? So here's the thing. Everybody always says, like, what do you think about Xbox maybe buying WB games, and they'll buy it because they can have Batman or whatever. God, I'm just gonna be real. Like, if it's something that we already knew was going to be a multi-plat, if we already knew that, it has to be something monumental in order to get me excited. Like, if Xbox had bought just like one of Bethesda's developers, like let's just say they didn't own their developers. If they just bought one of them and made their games exclusive, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. The reason why I'm excited is because they bought a whole publisher. They bought a whole publisher, and that means they have a steady output of games for the foreseeable future, right? But if they bought WB Games, like let's be real, who's really looking at WB Games like, yo, like, whoa, man. Like, they have Batman, they have Mortal Kombat, but I mean, those have been existing for the longest time on Xbox, and it's just, they're there, you know? Like, what would they fundamentally get out of making those Batman games exclusive other than the fact that it's not on PlayStation? At least in the case of Bethesda, Microsoft would be working with them more and they'll be doing other stuff outside of what they're just normally doing. WB Games, I don't, like, unless they can give the IPs to other studios, like, I would love, like, if they did something else with Batman. That'd be interesting, but I don't know. I feel like in terms of acquisitions, Xbox has got to do stuff that is actually going to better the brand rather than just gatekeep content. Like, the Bethesda stuff made sense because they have a long history, but WB Games, like, I don't know. Like, what about it is exciting? Like, yeah, okay, you have the Middle-earth series. Cool. You got Mortal Kombat. I mean, you got that Harry Potter game. You know, like, I don't know. Man. We'll have to see. I want to play Hades, but I'm holding out because I have a feeling it's going to come to Game Pass. Yeah, there's a possibility at some point. I mean, Hades is on Switch. It's on PC. They announced Hades for PlayStation, right? I think so. I don't remember. Did you play Xenoblade 2, Code Vein, or Genshin Impact? So I played and completed Xenoblade 2. Pretty dope game. Code Vein, I've been trying to get into it, but I don't want to start too many of those action-type games when I'm already playing some action-type games. And Genshin Impact, I have not done anything on it whatsoever, but that game is fucking huge, bro. Holy crap. Yeah, bro, I just need factions and a 60 frames per second update. That's what I need, Cyber King. You played the Kingdom Hearts PC ports, but Jesus Square is finessing with these prices. So I have Kingdom Hearts 3 on PC. I have that downloaded, ready to stream it. Just need some time. But yeah, Square Enix with the pricing, they did the same thing on Xbox. You know, when they launched the games on Xbox, they were full price. Same level of fuckery. The only difference is that you got at least a little bit of a discount on the Epic Games Store if you bought them, I think on launch week or something. On Xbox, they just said, no, fuck y'all niggas. But that's just Square being Square, man. I mean, if there is one thing I will say, their games do drop down in price. So looking at Kingdom Hearts on Xbox, they launched that last year. They're already on sale for like, you know, $10, $20 for the collection. So give it time, it'll drop. Love the content, bro. Keep it up. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Oh, see, I'm seeing some Last of Us Part 2 love here. There we go. Love to see it. People are arguing that loyalty means more than money when they heard about the Kojima and Xbox rumors. Oh, yeah, that's another rumor that's going on. Okay, you know what? We've been going on this stream for almost an hour. We might as well just tackle the news from today, you guys. Everybody ready? Everybody ready for the breaking news? This is the second Friday in a row that we've heard some craziness happen. So, in a report from Jason Schreier, we learned a lot of stuff that's happening internally at PlayStation, involving a couple of their studios, actually. So first things first, it's one of the biggest stories out there, but I think this is the one I'm going to take a little bit more time on. We learned that Days Gone 2, at least the original pitch of Days Gone 2, PlayStation is not moving forward with it. Which, when you look at some of the stuff that's been happening with the Bend studio and how a lot of people are departing, it does kind of make sense why they would leave. Like, why would they leave after a very successful IP? And in addition to that, we also learned that some people at Bend were basically contracted to do the grunt work and support a lot of other PlayStation studios. One of the projects being The Last of Us Remake. Yeah, that's right. They're talking about a Last of Us remake, but more on that later. So in the situation with Sony Bend, now as you guys know, Sony Bend, their studio, they, like, the last major game that they developed was back in 2012. That was Uncharted Golden Abyss. It was actually one of the biggest games on Vita, you know, and to its credit, what they were able to pull off with that game on Vita is just a technical marvel. Like, they were able to translate the Uncharted experience pretty faithfully for the most part on handheld. But since that game came out and the state of the Vita, Ben Studios, they were basically, it's so funny because PlayStation was like, okay, Ben Studios, you're going to work on an Infamous game next for the Vita. It's like, okay, we're going to do this. But you know what? No, fuck that Infamous project. We're going to cancel it. You're going to work on a sequel to Uncharted, Golden Abyss. Okay, we got this. No, fuck that. We're going to cancel that. So a lot of people are wondering why Sony Bend went 7 years without releasing a game. It's because they were working on Vita games that Sony kept canceling for no reason, which is just like, what the fuck, bro? It's like Sony has to make up their mind on what they want to do with handhelds. But obviously the fact that they canceled 2 potentially interesting IPs for the Vita just goes to show you that they shot themselves in the foot with the Vita. They have nobody to blame but themselves. But this situation involving Days Gone. Now, I'm just going to be honest. I am not going to sit here and try to parade myself as the... How do I say this? As like some champion for Days Gone, like a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are out there talking like, oh my god, Days Gone is so underrated and blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to be real. Days Gone, it looked interesting, but when I saw that game was looking rough as hell on the PlayStation 4, I was like, all right, I'm just going to wait for this game. Maybe I'll play it in a few years down the road if they like remaster or something, because it did not look that appealing. That frame rate, all that stuff. And a lot of bugs and glitches plagued the game at launch. Now, that being said, the game was a huge success for PlayStation. Like, it was charting constantly. I think it sold somewhere north of like 5 million units, which for a new IP is absolutely incredible, you guys. I think people honestly, they misconstrue like what new IPs do these days. So for Days Gone to get that many sales units is fantastic. So I viewed it as a success. And even though I wasn't I wasn't that interested in it, I think that maybe with time they could craft a proper sequel and it could be amazing. It could have that Uncharted 2 effect, as everyone's been coining these days. But according to this report, it seems like PlayStation does not want to go forward with a Days Gone 2. Now, we don't have the exact reason as to why, especially for a successful product like Days Gone. Some people are assuming that it might have been the critical reception because it got like lukewarm reviews. I think it's like a 70 something on Metacritic, which isn't bad. It is not bad. A 7 out of 10 is not bad. But nowadays, people say if it's not an 8 out of 10, then it's garbage, which is just something else entirely that we can talk on. But yeah, so they aren't going forward with that project, which is very strange. But the weirder part is how this ties into The Last of Us Part 2 remake. Now, a few years ago, this separate Sony studio, I think it's like Sony Vision Corp, something, whatever. They were basically like a support studio for PlayStation where they helped finish and finalize a lot of PlayStation IPs. They just provided external work. Like, think of it like Sony's XDev, you know? There was a small team of just, I think, a handful of people, like 30 people or something, that were formed in 2018 to work on, and I remember hearing rumors about this back then, to work on a PlayStation IP, right? A pre-existing PlayStation IP. That's all we knew. But when you look at the not the trajectory, but the proximity of this studio to all the other PlayStation studios, a lot of people assumed it had to be a Naughty Dog project, right? Now, Naughty Dog, we knew that they were done with Uncharted after Lost Legacy. So if they were going to do something, it would probably be a new IP after Last of Us. The odds of them doing Uncharted 5 are probably slim to none because Drake's story is over. But the idea of another Uncharted game was not out of the realm of possibility, especially if they wanted to do something maybe with his daughter, or if they just wanted to continue the adventures of Nadine and Chloe. So that was all we knew for the longest time, that they were maybe working on a new Uncharted game. But of course, we didn't know anything about it until now, where we find out that they were working on a Last of Us remake as early as 2018. Now, I know the old saying is the older you get, you realize how fast time goes by, but I want you guys to think about something for a second. Remaking The Last of Us in 2018, when the game released in 2013, when the game was remastered in 2014. So the last time people had a chance to play the most current build of Last of Us was 2014, and here you are in 2018, talk about remaking the game. Why? Now, before folks get it twisted, I am not opposed to game remakes. I think that depending on the game and how much time that's passed, having a remake could be extremely beneficial. You know, we've seen that time and time again. but you have to have an asterisk attached to it. For a game like The Last of Us, which was a swan song for the PS3, it was like the last major game it had. Remastering it on PS4 because there was no backwards compatibility, it made sense, clean up the visuals, higher frame rate, yada yada yada. But the game itself is still playable now on PS4, and it still looks really good on PS4. It's backwards compatible with PS5. Why remake it? What, to make it in the style of Part 2 in terms of gameplay? Okay, I guess if you want to like look back on it 20 years from now, like, oh, both these Last of Us games play exactly the same, and it's a perfect duology. But do we really need that? Like by that logic, we can apply it to every single game out there. What are we gonna do now? Remake Devil May Cry 5 after Devil May Cry 6 comes out? Like, are we really about to do that? Honestly, to me, it seems like a waste of time, effort, energy, resources, talent for a game that's only a few years old. What sense is there? So, it gets interesting though. After a few years of working on this project, which apparently, according to the developers there, they didn't get a lot of funding from PlayStation, so it seems like they just let these guys do this little project as big as The Last of Us, and they didn't really support them. They basically kicked everybody off the project. People left. You know, Sony Ben's developers who were working on that project, they were worried about maybe being absorbed into Naughty Dog, so they were just like, take us off this project. We don't want to do this. We want to do our own game. And now they're doing their own game. But now this Last of Us remake is back at Naughty Dog, which Naughty Dog right now, they've got factions that they're working on. They're most likely working on the Last of Us PS5 upgrade, and they probably already have this new IP getting ready to be revealed in the next couple of months, you know. What are they going to gain from doing a Last of Us remake? Like, what, honestly? Like, did somebody back then have the foresight that, hey, maybe in 2022 we're going to put out a Last of Us TV show and we just want to start this remake now? Like, I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Like, what is the point of doing a Last of Us remake? So, this is what really worries me, because if you've been reading between the lines of what PlayStation has been going on for the past couple of months, how they're talking about they want to focus on smaller, like less game output in terms of like, we're not going to do 40 million games, but we're going to make like 10 games, and we're going to make those 10 games count, which makes a lot of sense when those 10 games can all sell like 10 million copies. But when you do something as so like ridiculous and tone deaf as a Last of Us 1 remake, just because you know it's a guaranteed sell, I mean, maybe there is something to the fact that PlayStation is starting to just prioritize different things and things that work and things that are safe, which is not a problem. I mean, Nintendo does that all the time. Why do you think they keep pumping out Mario games, you know? Like, the biggest risk Nintendo has taken with one of their first-party IPs, and it's actually paid off, was Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, everything else is just pretty much standard status quo for Nintendo. And if they do take a risk and do something stupid, it blows up in their face because it wasn't that great of a game. Jet Life sent in a $1.99 super chat. What GPU do you have? Can't find a 30 series nowhere. Well, I do not have a 30 series GPU right now. I'm not really looking for one at the moment because I don't really need a 30 series card, because I don't really game on PC enough to the point where I would need to have that. So right now I have a what the fuck GPU do I have? See, this just goes to show you guys how I don't really hold on one second. Let me just look this shit up. I have an AMD. Hold on. You see, I literally just use my PC more for streaming, editing, productivity, and then gaming on the side. Hold on, here we go. All right. Oh, and I have a new update for my graphics card. So I have an AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT, and then I have a Ryzen 7 2700X 8 core. So yeah, my card, it's a decent 1440p card. Like, that's what I use it. I just play everything 1440p 60, and that is a-okay with me. I know everyone's like, yeah, get the 30 card. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to spend like a couple $100, you know? Give it like a year or two, I'll probably cop a new card, but right now I'm chilling. Oh, and then the homie GC Plugs, aka Bobby, came through with a $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Just here to support my boy. Also, Trails when? Trails soon, bro. It's just all these RPGs. I'm working on one at a time, Bobby. One at a time, bro. Let me finish up Yakuza Like a Dragon. And by the time that comes out, Nier Replicant will be out. And you know how that goes, Bobby. But appreciate the super chat, brother. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, so it scares me a little bit that this is what we're seeing right now with PlayStation. Like, PlayStation still they still put out quality games, like some of the like most genre defining in the industry. We understand that, like, the quality of those games cannot be contested. But it scares me long term that they would rather focus on a Last of Us remake than they would a new IP for that studio. Like, why would you? 2018's mad recent, you guys. That was after the success of God of War and all these other games that they've been putting out. So it's not like they just got this success in the past 2 years. It's very strange why they would just go ahead and do that. Like, why, man? But yeah, that's the situation right now. We might start hearing more about that in the next couple of months. Either way, bro, I'm not that excited about a Last of Us Part 1 remake. Like, unless they fundamentally change the gameplay. Okay, this is the only way I'll get excited about Last of Us Part 1 remake. If they fundamentally change the gameplay and they take out all the raft ladder segments, I am not going to buy that remake if it's the same fucking bullshit. Raft, ladder, listen for a clicker shit. No, I can't. Last of Us Part 2 spoiled me, bro. But yeah, there's that situation. Let's see. How would you feel if they rebooted Mario and Luigi on the Switch? Oh, I'd be down for that, bro. I'd be down for any new Nintendo type of game, or at least a new Nintendo game, like a new entry in an older franchise, because that's what Nintendo's sorely lacking. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to. There's a lot of games they have in their back catalog that they could put out new games now, but they just don't, which is so weird because all the 3DS developers and the console developers are consolidated now. So you would think that we'd be getting like new Switch games every week. But nope. Do you still watch anime? If so, which? Oh, I do still watch anime. I've been watching a lot more classic anime as of late because me and my sister have been rewatching stuff like Yu Yu Hakusho, Fruits Basket, things like that. But I do keep up with stuff that looks interesting to me. So I'm watching the new Fruits Basket reboot, which is absolutely incredible. I love it. It's gonna go down as my favorite reboot. And I also just started not too long ago Horimiya. I got that on recommendation of a lot of people, and it's a really good show. I mean, I've seen that. You know, I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen. But I don't keep up like weekly. Like, if you were to ask me, what's your favorite show from the spring catalog or something, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell. I'd be like, well, I just watched this show. And yeah, here we are. Why is it every generation with console companies, there's always... Wait, hold on, wait. Why every generation of consoles, there's always one company that screws up with their decisions? Because it's just... It's perfectly balanced, as everything should be. You know, like last generation, we had Xbox screwing up. The generation before, we had PlayStation screwing up. N64 days... A lot of us were really young, but that would be Nintendo who screwed up. I mean, you could say Sega because they kept doing multiple consoles at the same time. But Nintendo went with cartridges, which, you know, their internal battle with Sony. It's so funny how the reason why PlayStation exists nowadays is because Nintendo and them had a fight in the 90s, and PlayStation said, well, fuck this, we'll do our own thing. And they just ended up obliterating all of Nintendo, which is just crazy. It's wild. If you go back and look at the history of PlayStation versus Nintendo in the 90s, dude, it's insane. But yeah, Nintendo got very arrogant and cocky, and Sony's just like, well, fuck you, we'll make this. And then they came out with the PlayStation, which I don't know any company that made like a console like as revolutionary as the PlayStation 1, and they were able to just smoke their competition in the same gen. It's crazy. What do you like the most about Batman? Well, when Batman is well written, that's what I should say. When Batman is well written, I just like how deep the stories can get in terms of showing that Bruce Wayne is not this person to look up to. Like, for me, a great Batman story is showing Bruce as a flawed individual, not this insane badass who does all these great things because he's Batman. I like the Batman stories that get very cerebral, the stories that really tackle Bruce's demons and it shows that this guy has done a lot of fucked up things. That's why I really loved the Telltale games, which you guys, if you haven't played the Batman Telltale games, play them. They are very good Batman stories. And they do it for that reason. They show that Bruce Wayne is not this, well, I mean, no Batman stories really show Bruce Wayne as this hero to look up to, but they show that, like, first off, I'm not gonna spoil stuff, but in the Telltale game, it talks a lot about the family name, the Wayne name, and what the public perception thinks of them. And it just shows that, like, Bruce is at odds with, you know, his family name, and then what it means to him, but also what it means to people and all that. So a good Batman story for me is something that really does those sort of things, where it gets into nitty gritty and shows that while Bruce is this flawed individual, he's still trying his best. And sometimes, you know, he doesn't make the best calls, and there are ramifications for that, you know, and it shows that how everyone in his circle, they're all broken, but they can all still be a family, you know. Let's see. What game score would you give to Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Well, from the couple hours that I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it's cool in terms of, like, the presentation and stuff like that, but I'm not really a fan of how bloated the game feels. Like, I'm at that age in my life where I just want games to, like, all right, just get to the fucking point. I'm not really a fan of games that just throw 1,000,001 objectives at you. Which is apparently why a lot of people loved Odyssey, but why a lot of people hated it. I'm just leaning more on the side of it's not really my cup of tea, but I kind of like aspects about it. So, I mean, I can't really give a solid score to a game I haven't finished, you know? Let's see. Let's see. Would you like a Yu-Gi-Oh reboot that was way more faithful to the manga? That would be interesting to see, but at the end of the day, I don't really think the Yu-Gi-Oh manga and the Yu-Gi-Oh anime is not like this crazy night and day difference outside of the first couple volumes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero. I mean, if you look at the manga, I mean, the anime follows it for the most part beat for beat. Of course, there are deviations. The anime adds a lot of filler into it. But I mean, you get the general gist of things. You get the point across, you know. I'd much rather other series get, like, proper reboots that need them. What if they did a reboot? What if they did a remake of Dragon Ball Z, but better, just like Kai, but with an updated art style, like Dragon Ball Super Broly? That would be awesome, because to this day, there is no definitive version of Dragon Ball on in anime form, because you have the original anime, you have Z that is... like, people don't realize this shit, but that's 300 episodes of filler. Like, if you were to take out all the filler in that show is maybe like half the length, if that. So I would love for them to actually do that, you know, where it is closer to the manga. They don't change characters, do crazy things with the characterization. That would be awesome. But I'm just going to be real. Right now, I'd much rather people get into the manga and see Toriyama's original vision without them going ahead and doing some crazy fuck shit. And you can get through the Dragon Ball manga a hell of a lot faster than you would watching the anime. So, yeah, I'm not really a fan of them rebooting stuff unless it's really warranted. Like, yes, a Dragon Ball reboot would be great, but there's a whole bunch of other series out there that I would enjoy a lot more. And I'm going to be honest, when it comes to Toei, look at their track record for rebooting stuff. It's not the best. So, Neo, have you played GTA 4? You want to go bowling sometimes? Oh, God. Yes, I've played GTA 4. I do not want to go bowling with Roman. No. Yeah, I've noticed you've been playing a lot of Jurassic World Evolution, Atlanta. I've noticed that every time I sign on, I see you on that game, and it's yeah, you seem to be enjoying that shit, bro. I mean, it's one of those games I don't think I'll ever get into, you know? Like, people always have different tastes. Like for example, people tell me they can't get into Persona, and I totally understand that. But at the same time, I'm one of those people who can't get into Fortnite. So, you know, everyone has their own cup of teas. I started watching anime ever since you recommended one on stream to watch, that being Toradora. I've watched more than 100 anime right now. That is awesome. Holy shit. Yeah, it's crazy to go down the rabbit hole of anime when you've never watched it, because it's like finding a whole new genre of things. Like, whoa, what is this? And there's a lot of good anime out there, bro. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed Toradora. I loved it. Another day, another Switch Pro rumor. Yeah, that's kind of par for the course. It is. What do you think of the Resident Evil 4 remake? Well, we haven't really heard any updates on that remake since the last one, where they were saying, what did they say? Like, originally they were going to go in a completely different direction, and now they're saying it's going to be more faithful to the game. I'm just going to be real. Like I said with the reboots and remakes, I don't really want a Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm not saying that the game still holds up 100% because it is still a little dated. They could fix the controls. But if it's just going to be the exact same game but prettier, I don't know. Like, I'll play it, but it's not going to have that Resident Evil 2 remake effect where it's like, this is a fundamentally different looking game. You know? It'll be interesting if they do something different. I'm much more interested in Resident Evil 8 than I would be a Resident Evil 4 remake, if I'm being honest. Remember when you tried to predict the Kingdom Hearts 3 release date? Oh yeah, back in 2009, right? I was like, maybe Kingdom Hearts will come out in 2011 or 2012. And then it didn't come out for another 7 years. Holy shit. I think a Persona 4 Golden / Persona 5 Royal situation could work for The Last of Us 1. What do you think about that? But what's the point of doing that? Like, what are they really going to do? Just, they already put Left Behind DLC into Last of Us Remastered. Like, what could they really do? What are they going to add new content? Like, what, just tell new parts of the story there? Like, I thought that's the reason what they're doing with the TV show, to tell new parts of the story. I don't know. At that point, wouldn't it make more sense for them to do a prequel or something else? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Yo, Neo, do you like seinen or shonen more? Obviously, if I had to pick between the two, it's going to be seinen. I mean, I still got love for my shonens, but I'm very, very particular about what shonen series I watch, because I'm just going to be real. I'm not saying that all shonen series are cut from the same cloth. I am not, but I get bored with the characterization of a lot of shonens with characters, you know? Like, for me, my all-time favorite shonen outside of Dragon Ball is Yu Yu Hakusho. I love Yu Yu Hakusho because of the characterization, because of Yusuke, and I just look at all these other modern shonen protagonists, and they're just all, like, if they're not trying to be as influential and impactful as Goku, they're trying to be a 180 of Goku and be a complete weakling and a wuss, and like, I don't know. Like, I prefer seinen stuff a lot more. I'm not saying that's all the shonen genre is like that, but, you know, when you talk about the popular entries and shit like that, I just see a lot of samey shit, you know, that they try to appeal to a particular demographic, which if it's working for them, cool, but I prioritize, like, better storytelling. Hey, Neo, have you been lately? Haven't seen you in a while. Also, have you played the Mafia games? If so, what's your opinion on them? Well, thank you for that. I'm doing pretty well. Hope you're doing good too, Fire. I've played through the Mafia games before. I haven't played through Mafia 3 yet, because something about that game was really off when I was watching all the gameplay, and then it came out, and apparently it wasn't that great. But yeah, I enjoyed Mafia. Mafia 2 is actually my favorite in the series. That was, funny enough, that was actually my first game in the series. And then I went back and I replayed the first one years ago. Didn't really like put too much time into it. But I loved the second game. I loved the story in that game. I loved the ending, the big ass cliffhanger of it. Yeah, and so the Mafia series, it's always been cool to me. I want to sit down and actually play through the first game's remake, because I heard that's actually very solid. It's hard to watch Dragon Ball Z at home because of how they screw up the DVDs. Yep. That's another thing. There's 3 constants in life: death, taxes, and Funimation somehow fucking up Dragon Ball Z on home media. Well, that's more Toei too. But yeah, that's it just sucks, man. Last chapter of Attack on Titan was something else. I have not read it yet. I haven't even read all the Attack on Titan manga yet. I was more of an anime guy. But I do want to catch up because the anime is not coming back until either the end of this year or early next year. So that'll be something. Neo, did you hear about the Powerpuff Girls getting a live-action series? Donald Faison as the professor is such an odd choice. The second I heard they were doing a Powerpuff live-action series, I was like, no. The second I heard it was from the CW, I said, hell no. and they just started filming, so some screenshots are coming out. Is looking pretty cringe, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll give the trailer a shot, but man, people just got to stop making these live action gritty reboots of cartoons. That shit is not okay. Who the fuck wants this shit? But something about the CW that I understand is they can do all this shit and get away with it. I don't understand how. I don't get it. How are they allowed to do these things? How? What Batman series is better, Arkham or Telltale? If we're talking story-wise, Telltale series. Gameplay-wise, obviously Arkham. So they're just two different Batman series. I can't really compare the two, you know? Because one is just made to be a story. One is made to be this open world game with a story. What do you think about Halo Infinite esports event getting announced before Infinite even has a release date? I mean, I don't really have too much of an issue with it because we already know it's a Halo game, so it is going to be on the esports scene. And originally, I mean, I feel as if that the reason why they're announcing this was probably because they were going to have a Halo Infinite esports scene by this point, because, you know, the game was originally set to come out last year. So I don't really have an issue with them announcing it. It's just, it is what it is. It's just business, you know? Yeah, Mafia 2 is, that game's got a great story. Yep, Attack on Titan ended. Attack on Titan ended, you guys. Would you buy Persona 5 again if it gets released on the Switch? Maybe not on release, but I definitely would buy it to support it long term. I mean, because portable Persona is awesome, you know? Like, I downloaded Persona 2 on my Vita. I want to say it was like, what, early last year? And I was going through that, and that was just a lot of fun. And, of course, you know, Persona 4 Golden was on the Vita. But yeah, I'll get it on the Switch. I probably won't replay it on the Switch because, you know, I have Royal on the PS4. So it would just be there. I would buy it to have it in the collection. I have not tried out Pac-Man 99 yet, so I don't really have an opinion. How do you feel about a Thundercats reboot? Well, I actually really enjoyed the last Thundercats reboot, the one, what was it, like 2011, like that thing was fucking awesome, bro. And then they did Thundercats Roar, and I'm like, oh god, here we go. Yeah, man, I would love for them to do a proper Thundercats TV show, but nowadays they're not making animated series like they used to, you know, like shows like Thundercats, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, Avatar: Last Airbender. You know, like they established an Avatar studio where they're gonna focus on that stuff, but will the movies and TV shows they come out with actually be quality? I don't know. Did you finish Red Dead Redemption 2 yet? Yeah, I finished it a few weeks ago. Have you seen the first episode of Shaman King? I haven't. It's on my list, but honestly, I'm gonna be real, Corey. I've just been spoiled by streaming apps that I just don't want to go and find the episodes places, you know? Like, I used to be that person and have like all the sites, like I go here, I watch that. Nowadays I'm just like Hulu, Funimation, Crunchyroll, everything is there. You know? Let's see. Death Stranding coming to Xbox. I mean, I'm not ruling it out. Not ruling it out. Yo, most CW shows do assault your eyes. Yeah, man. Every now and then they put out something decent, but then they end up ruining it. That's what happened with all their superhero shows. It's just terrible, man. But some of these shows get like multiple seasons, and that's what kills me. Oh, God. Yo, CW, they did, man. Listen, I watched The Flash. I thought the first season was awesome. Second season was great. Season 3, okay, what are we doing? And then it just, man. And people are saying, nah, come back. It's great again. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to sit here and rewatch all the other seasons that were mid just to get to a not so mid season. Do you think we'll see Saints Row 5 at E3? Well, the way they're talking, it seems like it might be time for a new Saints Row. Because when did Saints Row 4 come out? Like, what, 2013? 2013, 2014? It's been a minute since we had a Saints Row game. Oh, the homie Shadow Elite HD came through with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. How do you deal with girls that you might get with and see your room? I had to remove weeb stuff if I know the girl isn't going to be cool with it. All right. So I'm gonna be very blunt, Shadow Elite. I've brought many a women back here, and they've seen all this. And you know what? We still clap cheeks. I'm gonna be real. Your hobbies, your interests, things like that, if it scares somebody off just because you proudly display these things, then you shouldn't be with that person. Now, obviously, it is to an extent. If you have like life-size body pillows or a bunch of other weird stuff, then maybe. But at the end of the day, if that person is, first off, if it's just like a one night stand, like what the fuck, man? It doesn't even matter. Like, fuck it, bro. I've clapped cheeks here, and she's seen fucking Funko Pops and all this stuff, you know. But if it's someone who you're with, right? If you're trying to like court them, get into a relationship, and she knows that you like all this stuff, why should that be an issue? You know, you get what I'm saying? Because women have a whole bunch of random shit that they display around their place, like all this fucking makeup and these tools to apply makeup and all that stuff, and nobody bats an eye. But if a dude has Funko Pops or he has wall scrolls or something that he loves, like I always look at it like this. You could be doing so much worse in life, Shadow Lee. You could be out there, you know, slinging on the corner. You could be doing, like first off, you could not have any interest or hobbies whatsoever, and you could be boring, and then they'll say, oh, you're boring, you're not interesting. But the fact that you have all this interesting stuff, they're like, what? So honestly, bro, provided it ain't like body pillows or you have like, you know, the weird shit. You understand what I'm talking about, bro. You gonna be alright. I thought this was a Christian YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. See, this is why Mexican Zoidberg is the fucking, he's the PR rep. He pumps the brakes. But yeah, it's not even, oh god, people are starting to quote this shit. It's not even, the older you get, Shadow Lee, I don't know how old you are, brother, but most women don't care. Most genuine women, mind you, genuine women. If they over here making fun of you for having this shit, when you have your shit together, like you have your job, you got your money up, you first off, you are hygienic, and you have all those things, like who the fuck cares if you have all this shit? Like, bro, on that shelf over there, I have photos of all the people that I've met randomly, like random celebrities. I have my Stan Lee photo of me and him that I have sealed and I'm gonna have framed on a wall. Like, who the fuck cares if a chick comes in and that's surrounded by all my Blu-rays and all this shit? Because look at it like this. That shit was there before some bitch, and it's gonna be here well after that bitch is gone. So that's all I gotta say about that. You know, because at the end of the day, provide you clap cheeks, that's all that matters. Clapping cheeks, I'm unsubbing. As long as you hit it raw, God doesn't care. Oh, Jesus Christ, Jacob. Jesus Christ. Little Jacob. Oh, they did Agents of Mayhem? I forgot about that shit, bro. I mean, maybe there's a reason why I forgot about it. What's up, Andre? How you doing? Oh, man. Clapping cheeks stream soon, hopefully. Hey, yo. Y'all horny ass motherfuckers gotta take yourself to Pornhub, bro. Ain't gonna be no clapping cheeks on this stream. Oh, man. Y'all are something else. We talked about The Last of Us 1 remake, but if you want like a quick version of what I think about it, I think it's fucking stupid. Why are we remaking a game that's not even that old? Double cheeked up on a Friday. Hey, man. I'm trying to... it's been drying my DMs recently, you guys. Drying my DMs. Well, it's not been dry. It's just that there's women in my DMs I don't want in my DMs. It's just, you know. It's just life. Do you have a manga collection? Yeah, it's all back there, and it's all over here, and it's all here. It's all over the place. It's just wherever I find space to fit it, you know? That's what he said. What did somebody say? Clubs start to open back up where I live. Someone would be clapping cheeks. Damn, Corey Gryffindor. This man, Corey Gryffindor, gonna be clapping cheeks to fucking Simple and Clean. Call that shit his sanctuary. Oh, man, clubs. I haven't been to a club in a hot minute. I don't know, you guys. I mean, I only go to clubs like... fucking once a year, bro. Clubs are, in my honest opinion, clubs are fucking played out. Clubs, you go to clubs, niggas just go there to show off shit. That's all it is, man. I'm telling you, you can score so much more by just going to random bars. I'm telling you, man. Clubs, you just go there to let other people know that you're there. That's it. Flame coming through with a $2 super chat, ladies man Neo, which is why I listen to these streams. Oh, appreciate it, man. I ain't no ladies man, bro. I'm just a humble child of God, man. I'm just a humble child of God. 69 points for Gryffindor. Don't think twice. That's fact, bro. Don't think twice. Shoot. Yeah. Don't think twice. Shoot your shot. That's how it is. That's how it is. Women don't like the PS5. They say it makes them dry. Well, I don't know if I should tell this story. All I'm saying is that I had one. I don't know if you guys are. No, I don't know if you guys want to hear this story. Nah, it might be too early in the night to hear this story. Thoughts on Neo: The World Ends with You since the date got announced? Oh, what's going on, Maddie? How you doing, bro? I'm fucking excited about that game. I watched the trailer and that was all I needed to know. I'm like, that's it. This game is gonna be a day one, provided Square Enix doesn't do some fuckery. But it's looking dope, dude. I can't fucking wait. It's not that I've been wanting necessarily a World Ends with You 2, because it's just one of those games where it doesn't need a sequel, but I want another game set in that world. And from what I understand, I don't know. I watched the trailer and that was it. Because I went off the grid because I already knew I'm going to get this game. This one, it's what, a prequel or some shit like that with different characters and all that. So I'm like, I'm down for it. Provided it's a great fucking game, I'm cool. When you're 30, it's time to settle down. I don't even say that, bro, because I'm gonna be 28 this year and I ain't trying to settle down no time soon. I'm gonna enjoy this shit as much as I can. I'll probably settle down when I'm in my 30s, though. What trilogy was better, Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter? Well, Harry Potter is not a trilogy, so Lord of the Rings. And just in general, if we're talking about the quality of the movies, Lord of the Rings. Absolutely, Lord of the Rings. I'm a gentleman. I ask these girls if they like to dance. If they say no, I respect their decision and say thank you. Honestly, that's all you got to do, Corey Gryffindor. You ain't got to be up in their face. You ain't got to be persistent. You ain't got to do anything. You just shoot your shot and you move on, bro. And then from there, first off, you're eventually going to find somebody that will want to dance with you. And then from there, you can analyze what you're doing wrong potentially and then level up from there. That's all you do. Do you spend more time with your Xbox or your girl's box? Well, I don't have a girl right now, so technically I would say my Xbox, but I am playing with multiple girls' boxes. So, yeah, I don't know how I would rank that, because it's not one person. Hey, Neo, how have you been, man, during this pandemic? Well, I've been doing good, Rant. It's crazy. This shit's been going on for over a year now, but I've been doing good, man. Family's been doing good. Just taking shit day by day, bro. Just taking shit day by day. Any fun convention stories? Well, outside of my nostrils burning every single time I walk into a convention hall, because these niggas running over to the fucking dealer's hall or whatever, they running over there. They got $300 to spend on figurines and shit, but they can't spend $3 on deodorant. You musty ass niggas. Like, I'm the biggest self-hating nerd, man, because I was like, I love this nerd shit, but at the same time, I hate niggas who are too into this shit that they don't focus on basic hygiene. It's fucking weird. Over here talking about, I can't wait for this new anime to come out. Well, okay, but what does that have to do with you washing your ass? Like, what the fuck? Like, how? But as far as fun convention stories, I've got some pretty chill convention stories. I don't have anything like crazy that's really happened. I mean, there was one time where I ran into Logic and Steve Bloom. That was really funny. I remember this is right before Logic really blew up, 2015. And I was walking and and then I noticed some guy wearing like a NASA jacket. I was like, is that fucking Logic? And then I turned around. I was like, Logic? And he just looked at me. I looked at him. I was like, bro, I love your music. He's like, oh, thank you. And then we took a photo and everything. Yeah, let me go pull that shit up. That shit was like from, I think, Comic-Con 2015? Yeah. Let me go pull that shit up. Hold on, guys. One sec. Scrolling. Yeah, right here. This is back before like mad niggas knew him, bro. This is 20. Come on. All right, there we go. So this is 2015. This is back when Logic had hair, you guys. You remember when Logic had hair? Yeah. So I randomly met Logic. We talked for a few minutes and then, went off on his merry way. Take it easy, Dark Walker. Have a good one. What's that weird light circle in the background? Are you talking about that? Oh, that's my lamp. Everybody always comments. I have like these crazy looking lamps that somehow don't go with the room aesthetic, but they're so crazy. You're like, what is that? See, that's a lamp. That's a lamp, bro. Let's see. But yeah, as far as like you just hit 30, man. Don't say that. Nah, you good, Bobby. Bro, 30 is like, I don't know why people are just got this weird thing like when you hit 30, it's like your life is over. It's like, bro, no. Like every single person I've talked to in their 30s is like so much better than my 20s, So I'm just chilling. You just gotta keep living your life. But yeah, in terms of convention stories, they've just been more chill vibes than anything else. Oh, well, here's something funny that happened at a convention one time. So like I'm not really a sociable person where I just go and make friends with everybody, but if I see there's good vibes around and like we're vibing and shit, we might spend the whole weekend hanging out, So this was, I think, Otakon 2015 or 2016, one of the 2 years. I think it was 2016. Yeah, I think it was 2016. I remember I was hanging out with people. I think it was after I forgot what panel it was, but yeah, we were just all talking because of something in the panel. And we all were hanging out randomly, and we went and we got food. And then I just basically said, yo, y'all want to come up to my room to hang out, like pregame before we go to the rave? And they were just like, yeah, sure. And then it went from, it was going to be like 7 of us to like 3 of the guys ended up going somewhere else. I guess they had to go get something. So it was just me and 3 other girls. And I was like, this has never happened before. But it was all cool because we went up to the hotel room and we were supposed to pregame for the rave, like, drink and go down there. But we were just chilling and vibing so much that we ended up, first off, ordering food to the hotel, getting that delivered, and then just sitting up, drinking and watching fucking Toonami. Like it was fucking dope because we were just all like, when are we supposed to go to the fucking rave? And we're like, yeah, no, we ain't doing that shit. So it was cool. It was cool vibes, man. Oh, and then the homie Asbel Lant came through with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. I still haven't been to a convention. Was supposed to go to my first one last year, but COVID. Yeah, man, that was definitely it. Shit, bro. Like 2020, I was kind of going to make my return to conventions because I took 2019 off to relax because I went to so many before. And I was like, yo, 2020, I'm going to hit someplace up. Didn't happen. But yeah, they're always fun. I recommend people always go to a convention or two just to see how things are. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to when the world is back to normal and we start going to conventions again. I probably won't until like 2022 though. But yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Appreciate you, Asbel. What do you think about DC movies? What needs to improve? So the thing about DC movies, if we're talking like their live action division, my biggest problem with DC on film is that there's no fucking direction to this shit. There's no vision. It's just literally a whole bunch of, the best way I could describe it is like somebody threw spaghetti on the wall and they're hoping and praying that thing sticks. So they just do a whole bunch of random shit. And now what DC has is the multiverse, so they can do a whole bunch of random shit and just say, hey, it's the multiverse. I've kind of accepted that we are never going to get a proper DC cinematic universe on film. We are going to get a lot of characters on film, but none of them are really ever going to interact in the way that we want, which is Justice League animated series and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So what's the next best thing? Well, obviously, good movies are paramount to everything, and good movies over a cinematic universe, obviously. But when you can have both, like Marvel, it just makes me look at DC and go, why is this so fucking difficult for you guys? Like, why? And the reason why is because DC is led by suits and executives rather than creatives. And they tried doing that with Zack Snyder, but Zack Snyder was not the best person to pick for that sort of thing. And DC just doesn't vet people before they just go doing all this random stuff. So right now what they have is just a whole bunch of random movies in development. Some of them might be good. Some of them might not be. Some of them might end up being canceled, which, as we've seen, they've already canceled too. And then now they have the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the whole movement now is to restore the Snyderverse, which honestly, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Snyder's interpretation of the DC universe, it's a hell of a lot more consistent than whatever DC's been doing. Like, if you had to tell me I'd rather 2 more Zack Snyder Justice League movies over, like, Russian roulette, maybe this DC movie will be great, I would take that, because Zack Snyder's Justice League is way better than, like, a lot of the shit they've been putting out recently. You know, like Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn movie, that shit, oh no, that was not great. And yeah, it's more consistent with his own interpretation of it. I'm not saying it's great for DC on film. Like, if I had a perfect world, I would do a complete reboot. I would reboot everything, just forget all this shit happened, start over from scratch with Superman, start over from scratch with Batman, build the league up, and then go from there. So, if I'm being honest, there's nothing that they can really do to really improve sans doing a whole reboot. I think everyone has just accepted the fact that we're just going to get random DC movies, and some of them might be really good, like Joker. We're hoping that the Matt Reeves Batman movie is amazing, and we'll see where it goes. That's it, you know? Yes, I am very excited for Neo: The World Ends With You. I'm so hyped. Bro, I'm so excited. I just watched one trailer, and that was done. That was all I needed. I was like, that's it. That's it. That's all I need, you guys. That's all I need. I wouldn't call Disney creatives either, but at least they're consistent with the Marvel films. Well, here's the thing, Maddie. Disney is just, they're not trying to rock the boat. You know what I'm saying? Because they see what Kevin Feige has been doing for the past 10 years, and they're just like, okay, this guy is making no-name superheroes. He's putting out movies that are making him $1 billion at the box office. We're not going to mess with this guy, which is why they've given him all this control in the past couple of years, because he's a proven talent. So the last thing they want to do is really mess with that. And as we're seeing with Phase 4, with WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, shit's looking pretty good. So Disney is not the best example of giving creative freedom, because Marvel is the exception. Marvel was a proven entity all throughout the past decade. So that's why they're just like, okay, do your thing. With DC, it's just they don't have... It's like they need a Kevin Feige. They need a creative there who can steer the ship in making good movies and making like a good cohesive universe, you know? LMAO, I've never heard a more accurate description of DC Cinematic Universe. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. It's like the template is there. The template is fucking there, and it's not about copying Marvel. Marvel does not have the patent on how to do a cinematic universe. You want to know why? Because fucking Toho did a Godzilla cinematic universe decades ago. You know? It's simple. Just make good movies, have them cross over, there's your universe. DC is just like, no, we want the universe first, worry about the movies later. Like, ugh. $5 super chat coming in from the homie Marcus Doyle Terrell. What are your thoughts on that woman that said she thinks black men aren't interested in her because she's black? Also, have you dealt with heartbreak? Well, first things first, appreciate the super chat, Marcus. As always, thank you, bro. And for those who are unaware of what he's referring to, so there was this TikTok video of this woman who was in her car, and the TLDW version of it is essentially she saw this really cute-looking black guy across campus or whatever, really cute guy, and she was just like, oh, he's really cute, I want to go talk to him. I'm not going to talk to him because maybe he doesn't like black girls. Maybe he likes white women. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, okay, so what you're doing right now is you're profiling a brother, and you think that he's not going to like women. Why? Because what again? So there's this whole thing going around. If you guys are unfamiliar, maybe if you aren't black, you don't know, but there's this whole thing going around apparently where black men don't like black women or something, because you have select people in the black community, select black dudes who make it their goal to complain about black women. And by that, people use that as the norm, that apparently black men don't like or date black women. Yeah, it's that fucking ridiculous. Like, people are taking the extremes and they're running with that as the norm. I think that's kind of how racism started, you know? Like, you just have these prejudices to people. And here's what I don't understand. Homegirl's over here talking about how she didn't even make an attempt to talk to the guy. Because what will happen if he doesn't like black women? You're never going to fucking know that shit until you actually talk to the guy. For all you know, first off, he could be in a relationship with a black woman. And second, if he's in a relationship with someone that's not a black woman, that's not any of your damn business. You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays, people just want to be with folks who, first off, aren't going to give them a headache. And I'm not saying that that's black women. I'm not. But if he happens to be with somebody who's not black, who the fuck cares? That's his life. He's living it. And if he's with somebody who is black, then that's fine too. But for her to have these insecurities and project that on this random innocent bystander, that says a lot more about her. I don't know, a lot of people are going to try to run as the whole black women in the media and society and stigmatize. She did not shoot her shots. She didn't fucking shoot her shots. And yet she's going to say that it's okay because maybe he doesn't like black women. Like, who? No, you are not going to know that shit until you actually know. And also, a lot of people out there, I'm just going to be real. Why are you giving attention to people who are the extremities? Like the coon-ass black men out there who will make it their day-to-day mission to shit on black women. Why are you giving them attention? Why? That's, first off, that's exactly what they want. And second, why are you running with that as the norm? You know, that's how fucking racism is still existed in now. That's how it exists nowadays, because people out there, they have these prejudices about these certain people because of how X person acts, and then they run with it like everybody else. Like, that's the exact same fucking thing. And I don't know how, as a black person, she doesn't see that. Like, yeah, your insecurities are one thing, but you know why? You know what? That's why they're your insecurities. You've got to work on that shit. Because me, myself, and I love everybody. I love my black queens. I love white women. I love Hispanics. I love Asians. For me, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. You know, like my second head, it doesn't care the color of your skin. If you're attractive, you are attractive. So, I don't know, man. People always try to make this shit deeper than it actually is. You know, like, people are just running to the defense and saying blah, 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 make it a commentary. No, it's literally she's too nervous to shoot her shot and she's coming up with an excuse. I'm sorry. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And for her to act like this is fucking pathetic. All right. In the second part, have you dealt with heartbreak? Oh, yeah, absolutely, bro. My last major heartbreak was my previous relationship, which I got out of last summer. So, yeah, heartbreak is a thing, and it fucking sucks. But, you know, it's one of those things that I'm not saying it's a necessary evil, but it teaches us a lot about ourselves. And we go through growth with heartbreaks. And heartbreaks aren't necessarily just romantic relationships either. They could be friendships that you have with folks, and how sometimes, yeah, you can be friends with somebody for years, but if you're at odds with each other on certain things and you can't come to agreement, sometimes you have to end the friendship, and that's perfectly fine. It does suck, and you're going to spend a lot of your time in the next foreseeable future really just like overthinking things and just having like really crappy days, but it just is what it is, you know, because eventually we overcome that hurdle, and we just become stronger people. Like, every experience that you go through in life, you guys, whether it's good or bad, it's a teaching moment. And I want you guys to remember that. Just because something good happens to you or something bad happens to you, it does not matter. That is a lesson in growth. Let's see. Oh, and then we got the homie Colin, my boy, coming through with the 22. Oh, this is actually really interesting. So on YouTube, it shows up the Canadian conversion. And over here on the stream, like OBS, it comes in with the American conversions. That's very convenient. So Colin, my boy, coming through with the $22.36 US dollar super chat. And he says, "Hey, Chris, how are you tonight, man?" Oh, I'm doing pretty swell, Colin. How you doing, brother? Do you think that Naruto would have benefited greatly from a story perspective if Kishimoto had a separate writer working with him? By the way, I bought 4 new steelbooks for $10 a pop. Okay, while I answer this question, Colin, you got to tell me what steelbooks you bought, bro. Because you know me, I'm a steelbook fucking aficionado. I love them shits. But to answer your question about Naruto's story, yeah, the thing about Kishimoto is he just has all of these grand ideas and these interesting concepts, but he just needs somebody to help rein him in. And I don't know if that was if he needed a better editor or what, but if you look at Kishimoto's storytelling from like the early days of Naruto, it was very simple, some interesting concepts about villains and stuff that would be developed later, but it's pretty much straightforward, easily digestible. When you start getting into Shippuden, and you know, the time skip and everything, things start getting a little too grandiose for their own good. Characterization goes out the window. A lot of people are acting so different than they were before. And just in general, the thing about Naruto is I ended up hating a lot of the characters more as the years progressed, especially as we got into Shippuden. Like, first off, Sakura, why the fuck is she even in this series? That bitch does nothing, and she's honestly a hindrance. Like, she had one uptick at the start of Shippuden, and then after that, it's like, bitch, why are you here? Like, who fucking co-signed this? And then she's just like, oh, Naruto, I love you. The whole romance in Naruto is fucking bullshit. The whole fucking weird. They tried to do a love triangle between Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, and then here you have this dude, Sasuke, who is lit. So Sasuke, listen, I understand if they wanted to make Sasuke evil and he was misguided, yada, 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 whatever. But when you have this dude literally threatening to kill Naruto and Sakura repeatedly, multiple times, and Naruto is still like, that's my best fucking friend. Nothing in the story even indicated that Naruto and Sasuke had this brotherly bond. Sure, they got along as teammates, right? But Kishimoto didn't develop that shit to the extent where you're like, okay, even though Naruto is wrong in pursuing this guy who has literally tried to kill him multiple times, I can still fuck with it, you know? No, Kishimoto didn't do that. It just looks like Naruto is just deranged. The fact that he's still going after Sasuke. I don't know. It's one thing for a character to have a resolve and saying, like, I don't want to give up on my friends because that's my ninja way. But if you don't back that shit up, it looks fucking stupid. It just looks so stupid, man. You know, like Naruto had more positive interactions with the rest of the characters in the Leaf Village than he ever did fucking Sasuke. All Sasuke did for the most part throughout his entire legacy is fucking dump on Naruto. And that's your best fucking friend. I don't know. Maybe some people in the comment section, maybe you have friendships that are like that. But all of my friends, we don't dump on each other 24/7 and threaten to kill each other real shit. And then say, I'm going to bring you back. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like Kishimoto has these ideas where he thinks it's deeper than it actually is, but you can't do these ideas and then not back it up with something. So yeah, to answer your question, Colin, I feel like Naruto would have been a better series if he had somebody else working with him, because like he's similar to George Lucas in the way that you can write something grandiose, but that doesn't mean it's well developed. Like George Lucas is an amazing creative talent, which is why the prequels are so much better than the sequel movies, just because of the lore that he was able to introduce and how it still felt like Star Wars. At least there was something there. Might not have been great movies, but he got us you got way more out of the prequels than you did the sequel trilogy. Sequel trilogy does not add anything to the Star Wars lore worth mentioning. So yeah, I would have loved Naruto if the writing was consistent. It would have been a top 3 series of all time in terms of the shonen genre. If you think about it, Steve and Bucky did the Naruto and Sasuke thing much better. I mean, yeah. Like, for example, yeah, there's so many other things that were done better. Like, that type of dynamic were done better. Naruto and Sasuke, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not the only person seeing this shit. Like, it's just so, like, people, and I got into arguments with people about this years ago, right? Where I was just calling this shit out, but people were like, no, you don't understand it. But people were so biased with the fact that the show was still going on. Now that people are looking back on it, they're kind of like, yeah, Naruto, it did have some missteps, errors. I'm like, y'all couldn't see this shit when you were reading it? Like, what the fuck? Kiryu and Nishiki's friendship is more believable. There we go. There we fucking go. Throw in the Yakuza references. Throw them in there. Because yes, everything for the most part has been done better. But not everything gets the same clout as Naruto. This is why as a creator, you need to be more like a chef. Taste your own damn food. Yeah. How do you feel about PS5 owners only getting the PS4 versions of games like Avengers and Borderlands on PS Now? Oh, I think that's some scumbaggy fucking shit, bro. I could understand. No, I can't fucking understand that shit. That's ridiculous. Like, how you download the game on PlayStation Now, yet you only get the PS4 version. Niggas basically just said, don't fuck with our service. Just buy the game outright. That's grimy, bro. That's straight booty cheeks. That's straight. At least on Xbox Game Pass, you get the fucking Series X enhancements. Ugh. Man, that shit got me hot, man. That Naruto talk. Yeah, Shikamaru had Naruto's back, and Naruto's dumbass is over here like, nobody understands me like Sasuke. Naruto was, at this point, he should have just called him Sasuke-kun. Literally, that's how it was at this point. You had every other person in the village who Naruto vibed with. Yeah, this motherfucker is over here saying, Sasuke, I will bring you back, even though you pissed in my cornflakes this morning and you ate all my ramen. You are my brother. Mental fucking illness, the series. My God. It's the ninja way, Neo. You gotta be a Hokage to understand. Man, fuck a Hokage. I ain't gonna take that shit. Neo, this is not an election. You must try Hollow Knight, please, bro. It's on Game Pass. Oh, no, I have Hollow Knight. I played it on the Switch, bro. It's cool. What's your opinion on The Walking Dead? I probably asked this already, but I forgot a lot of things. Okay, so I love the Telltale game series. Love the comic. Not really a fan of the TV show. Oh, God. What are your thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong? I mean, if you turn your brain off, it's kind of an enjoyable, dumb movie. But to be honest, I feel like they could have done so much more with it. Like, I don't feel like this is the build-up that anyone was expecting when it comes to the MonsterVerse, you know? Like, Godzilla and Kong are just there, and they fight for no reason, and... yeah. I mean, it had some pretty visuals, but it's... I don't know, man. Godzilla should not have been in that movie. He barely did anything. He was there more as a plot device. Oh, God, 1010. I don't even know what the fuck happened with 1010, bro. You are my friend. I remember those days. Golly. If we can get the Snyder cut for Justice League, can we get the Nomura cut for Versus 13? Yo, I would love for them to do Versus 13 at some point, but first off, it's so much easier for them to do the Snyder cut than it is to do the Nomura cut. The Nomura cut would literally take years of development. You'd have to be making a whole new game at that point. So I don't think that's feasible. But I would love... well, Nomura, knowing his petty ass, he's probably going to get his Versus 13 with all these games he's got coming out. I mean, that man is very, very, very fucking cynical. Like, he's just like, you guys mess with me, I'm going to mess with you back. I'll bite you back, bitch. But, yeah, I would actually... here's the thing. I would love for them to go back and remake Final Fantasy 15 10 years from now. Like, give us the original vision. Give us everything that the story was going to tell in one game, great combat, and I think that might go down as one of the best Final Fantasy games of all time. Oh, and then the homie Bobby came through with another $10 super chat. About to play some Yakuza before work. Stay safe, my man, and I'll be here for the next stream. Well, thank you so much for your super chat, brother. And yeah, likewise, bro. Stay safe. Enjoy that Yakuza, man. Enjoy it, brother. Enjoy it. Always good seeing a homie. Bobby and I, we go way back, you guys. I'm talking like beginning of my YouTube channel, man. He was one of the first people who I really got a chance to talk about the Tales series with. It was him and my boy Maddie. Like, we would always talk about that shit on Facebook way back when, and it's so dope. It's so dope. Just that, like, if you have genuine people in your life, y'all, keep those connections. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta talk to them every fucking day, but just keep them around, keep in contact with them. You know, exchange numbers. You know, social media accounts, because you never know like how easy you'll fall out of touch with somebody. And it's great that I'm blessed to have people like Bobby still in my life, and we can just talk about RPGs and shit. Yeah, Yakuza is top. It's peak gaming, yes. Yo, every couple of weeks I go back and I watch that Versus 13 trailer, and I just get sad. I get fucking sad, guys. We were robbed of this. We could have got something amazing, and we just didn't. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If I had to choose between remaking Final Fantasy 6 and remaking 15, I would choose 6. But a remake of 15 is right behind that. 15 versus 15 versus 15. There we go, Andre. That's good. Neo, what are your thoughts on Final Fantasy 7 Remake? As someone who usually likes complete definitive editions of games, I'm a bit worried, and I would prefer to play the original, but the remake looks nice. So... As far as Final Fantasy VII Remake is concerned, I really enjoyed the game. I love the graphics. I love the music. I love how, you know, just like, yeah, the nostalgia factor played a role, you know, seeing all this stuff that I hadn't seen in such a long time in this game recreated is amazing. That being said, I do have my issues with it as a game because the game itself, like the combat system, I fucking love. It's awesome. But I'm not a big fan of how they split it up. So they took a 5-hour section of Final Fantasy VII and they turned that into a 30-hour story. Which, okay, at first, yes, they were expanding on some things. They did give background to some things that happened. But a lot of that stuff is just useless padding. I'm just going to be real, you guys. Try going back and playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. They padded the shit out of that. And honestly, when it comes down to it, I don't really think it's worth it. Like, I don't think it's worth replaying to that extent. It's not one of those games that I can just go back and replay because I know to get to all the good shit, I have to slog through all this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And then there is the whole controversy surrounding the story of the game. So I'm not going to go into spoilers because I know some people are going to be playing it for the first time with the Intergrade they got coming out. But they definitely do some classic Tetsuya Nomura Square Enix shit where they are potentially going to be making major deviations in the story. And honestly, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because I want to see this fulfilled to the very end. And I'm actually excited about the future because they're going down this path, you know? But the weird thing is, my full thoughts on this won't be 100% complete until I see everything come to fruition. Because I want to give them the benefit of the doubt on what story they're trying to tell here. But other than that, if you're just judging it based off of a game, great gameplay, great graphics, great music, padding, yeah. And the mission structure, like the side missions are pretty dumb, stupid, terrible. Would you want 6 to get an overall remake like 7 or keep it basic? Honestly, Corey, I wouldn't be opposed to 6 getting like an Octopath Traveler type remake. Well, if they can go back and spruce up the visuals, I'd like that, but I don't want it to just be 100% like, you know, like Final Fantasy VII Remake where it's like, oh, everyone is all, you know, giant sized or whatever. Giant size compared to sprites. Because I think there is something to those kind of classic games and why they work so well. Yeah, those, bro, Marcus, I know you remember this shit. They were talking how like, oh yeah, we want to make the side missions in the game have much relevance to the main missions. Bro, fucking side missions in those games, literally go here, kill these fucking lizards and shit. I'm like, man, get this out of here. Fucking 2009 type side quest. Once all 10 parts. Once all 10 parts, my god. Please, no. The furthest I can stretch this is 3 games. If they do anything more than 3 games, they are milking this shit. Might as well have just created a whole nother universe. Do you think it's possible for PlayStation 1 games and more PS2 games to be added on PS Now? I think it is possible. If it's a streaming service, they just need to go back and secure the licenses to put them on the storefronts. And at that point, it becomes a case of cost versus demand. So if they're going to spend, let's say, $1 million to bring forward, I don't know, 100 PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, and nobody's gonna play them shits, it's like, fuck, we wasted $100, $1 million, you know? So, I don't know. Have you seen Invincible? Yes, I am not caught up yet. I'm 2 episodes behind. But I have seen the first couple ones. They were... Hey, Neo, I heard there's a rumor that Hanna-Barbera is coming back. I don't know if it's coming back in the same way, but it seems interesting. I haven't heard anything on that, Julian Harris, so I can't speak with certainty. But if so, that's interesting. Surprised it wasn't Nomura's idea. It was Kitase. Nomura wanted to keep the plot the same. Okay, so that's the biggest fucking 2020 moment, Corey Gryffindor. I could have sworn that was some Nomura shit, because that's the typical Nomura shit to do. Look at Kingdom Hearts. But wow, that's interesting. If that was pushed by Kitase and Square Enix, that's different. Super Final Fantasy VII Remake Ultra Deluxe Edition Part 1. Yeah, honestly, since it's going to be a long-ass time for this story to be complete, bro, just play Final Fantasy VII on whatever platform. It's on everything these days. And just go through that story, you know? I guarantee you'll be able to finish that game in a much quicker time than they are going to put out all these other games. I need to know how they're going to do open world as well as places like Cosmo Canyon and Rocket Town. Yeah, that's the thing, bro. That's why I'm so excited for the second part, just to see what they're going to do. Thoughts on the World Ends With You trailer? From the clips I have seen, it looks amazing, but I'm kind of trying to... I'm not trying to watch as much stuff for the game because I just want to go in blind, you know? Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank? As a series, I enjoyed Jak and Daxter a lot more. But I got to give it to Ratchet and Clank for being such a consistent series 20 years on, man. I mean, the new game looks incredible, and I can't wait to play it. But I would have to say if I had to pick one, it'd definitely be Jak and Daxter. Oh, man, I still remember Jak 2, bro. Jak 2 and 3. I mean, I love all three of them. What am I talking about? Jim Ryan versus Phil Spencer. Oh, God. Well, hey, man, Phil Spencer brought the Yakuza games to Xbox, and I'm just like, yes. What has Jim Ryan done for me today other than sell me $70 games? I don't know. At least this dude Phil Spencer is giving me stuff on Game Pass, and I don't got to pay for it. But if Jim Ryan wants to give me a Legend of Dragoon remake, I'm going to take that shit. Yeah, I mean, the story in Ratchet and Clank 2016 wasn't, like, I ain't gonna say it was terrible, but it was I mean, I played worse. The game itself was cool. Jak 2 made me mad. That game punishes you for no reason. Yo, it really did. Oh, we have a $6.99 Canadian super chat from Colin, my boy. I bought steelbooks for Rocket Man, Saving Private Ryan, Wolf of Wall Street, and SpongeBob. No judgments here. What's your favorite steelbook? Okay, which SpongeBob? Is it like the first SpongeBob movie or the last SpongeBob movie or a new SpongeBob movie? They keep making a lot of SpongeBob movies. I have no idea. But those are some solid pickups. All great movies, man. Wait, are them joints 4K? If they're all 4K, I might have to go ahead and buy some, bro. But if we're talking about some of my favorite steelbooks, let me see. Okay, so, well, here's the weirdest thing. Some of my favorite steelbooks are not even like movies. Like I have a steelbook that I got from Kingdom Hearts 2.5. Wait, was it 2.5? Yeah. When 2.5 came out, they did a collector's edition that came with 1.5 and 2.5, and you have a steelbook that was one of it was an art, it was graphic from the series, and you had a slot in it for both those games. And so that's one of my favorite steelbooks. In addition to that, I mean, I really like the look of the Doctor Strange. Actually, you know what? One of these days, I got to do a whole stream where I show off my steelbooks. Because there's a lot of shit, man. There's a lot of shit. But I would say, yeah, I really like my Kingdom Hearts steelbook. That shit is nice. Legend of Dragoon, let's go. I will fucking fund it. Jim Ryan won't give you a Legend of Dragoon remake. Instead, he'll come to your house and take your PS1 copy as who wants to play old games. Yeah. But if he can sell me $70 versions of Legend of Dragoon, I think he'll do that too. He'll take my old copy and force me to buy the new one. Okay, so I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to get off for the night, you guys, because I have to get some food before I meet up with the boys. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Musou games? I'm playing Pyro Warriors 4, and I'm surprised how good it is. I'm not the biggest fan of Musou games, as you guys know. They're not my cup of tea. I mean, I do respect people that play them, because I feel like if there's a genre of game that comes out and people like it and they enjoy it and they ain't hurting people, then hey, you know, by all means. Who am I to say? Like, I love Yakuza games. Some people don't like Yakuza games. I like Call of Duty. Some people don't like Call of Duty, and that's fine. So yeah, I've played a few Musou games before. Last one I really played was Pirate Warriors 3. That was actually a lot of fun. But I only buy Musou games like once every couple years, and it's usually based off of like a franchise I like, so One Piece or Dragon Quest. And I always get them at discounted prices, like under $20, so I don't really feel too bad, you know what I'm saying? Persona 5 Strikers, though, I'm actually going to be playing after I beat Royal, because my boy, we game share on PlayStation, and he bought it digitally, so I have that there. I'm gonna give that a try. And I really do want to play Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, but that shit just, golly, bro, that game is rough. It looks amazing, but that performance don't look that great. Let's see. Yeah, see, look at all the Legend of Dragoon hype over here. What do you think about Outriders? The missions are a bit copy and paste, I think. So overall, I'm enjoying my time in Outriders, you guys. Now, granted, my views on it are a little skewed because I did not buy the game. I'm playing it on Game Pass, and Yeah, if I bought this game, I would be very pissed off because of the servers and how frequently they go down. Now, I'm not using that as an excuse to harass developers or publishers or all that, but I'd be really pissed off if I really wanted to play this game that I spent $60 on and I couldn't. In terms of the game itself, here's the thing. So there's a lot about the game that it's not that I dislike it, but I just question why they did certain things. So in terms of like the world itself, it looks good, but in terms of like mission structure and the way everything looks, it doesn't look that appealing. Like I think that Bungie really nailed it when it came down to game design of these kind of games. Everything in Outriders just looks so generic. That being said, the game itself is a lot of fucking fun. Like ridiculous amounts of fun. Like this is the game that I play with my boys like late at night. Like, it's like 11 p.m. We're throwing back a few drinks and we just put on Outriders when it works, and we just have a lot of fun. I love the classes. Right now I'm playing as the Pyromancer, right? And it's just cool, man. You know, especially if you got people who are different classes. You know, my boy's a trickster, so he's always up in people's faces. My other boy's a devastator. I'm the Pyromancer, so I'm like a nice mid-range balance. And it's just a lot of fun, man. It's just fun. I don't know how to explain it. Like it kind of like all the other things about the game, I don't really worry about it too much because of how much fun the game is. And I mean, there's other stuff that needs to be worked on. Like the aiming itself still feels a little wonky. And a couple of other things that need to be addressed. But, you know, obviously that stuff will get better with time. But yeah, I think that putting it on Game Pass was actually a really good move for the game. But yeah, I can't shake the suspicion, the feeling that maybe this game needed a few more months in the oven. At least to get all this server stuff out of the way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, it's really solid for what it is, man. And I've had way more fun playing Outriders than a lot of other games that I've purchased recently. It's pretty cool. It works. It just when it works, it works. But when it works, it's smooth, man. It's a smooth experience. Very simple. Like you don't have to try to be like the next Destiny or whatever. You just go and have a great fun game, and then from there, you just expand on it. You know. Take it easy, Fire. Have a good one, bro. Thank you for coming through. Let's see. Have a good night, Julian. Good to see you, bro. All right. Who are you rooting for in Godzilla vs. Kong? Honestly, I was rooting for Godzilla, but I didn't really care who won either or. I just wanted to get a good, solid movie out of it, and I got a movie out of it. It wasn't solid, but you know, I didn't really care who won. You know what I'm saying? If you give me a good fight and it's nice and balanced, great. Yeah, I've heard some decent things about the Attack on Titan games, Asbel, but it's one of those where it's like, I just got other things to play right now. I'm good. If it's $5 at some point, I'll pick it up. You know, that's my thought process. Like, yeah, if it's $5, I'll definitely go ahead and cop that shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, but I think it's about time we wrap up the stream for the night, ladies and gentlemen. We're going on 2.5 hours now. Jesus Christ, already 2.5 hours. I want to say thank you so much for everybody for coming through and kicking it with me. You guys know it's all love around here. If y'all rocking with me, I'm rocking with y'all. Thank you so much to all the people who donated via Super Chat. That stuff helps out the channel tremendously. Helps get funneled back into the channel so we can make some upgrades around here. And yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you guys for subscribing, for liking, for commenting, for just all the stuff that y'all do. You guys, most of y'all are regulars here. Oh, damn it. I'm so sorry, Ronald. Yeah, he just joined and it's over. But if there is one positive aspect, you'll be able to watch the rest of the stream on playback because it was pretty fun. But yeah, guys, continue to be excellent to each other. Continue to be the great people that y'all already are. And as always, remember to drink your water. You know, I think I have a little bit of water left, so I gotta finish this on stream. Oh wow, this is one of those fucking thermoses where it's not like all of the, like, you know how some thermoses, like the whole bottom part is exposed, so you could literally chug water and then mad water will come out. This one is done a specific way where it has like guards, so you only get a certain amount of water no matter how fast you chug it back. I don't know, the older I get, the more interested I get, in particular I am about thermoses and shit like that. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you guys. So enjoy the rest of your nights, your evenings, your afternoons, your mornings, whatever part of the world you may be in. And for me to you for now, my name is NGS, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night.